Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up, y'all? What up, y'all? Welcome back. Welcome back. Random show settings. Random show settings. What's good? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Am I coming at you live? Am I coming at you live? Is the microphone all good? Levels all good? Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check 1 2. What up? What up? What up? What up, y'all? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. Big up everybody in the stream chat. I see ya. See ya. See ya. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. What's happening? 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 What's the deal, people? What's the deal? Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Yes, 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 yes. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Cool. Let's go, yeah. Big up Two Swords, big up Coilo. Yes, what's going on, Coilo? Yes, yes, you know we're here, man. Flannel gang. Big up Two Swords. Yes, yes, yes. That's my aim. That's my aim, brother. #1 background podcast in the fucking world. You know how we do. Big up Casey, I see you. Big up J1B. Big up Caterpillar Hot Wagwan. Ruben Rivera Wagwan. Young Old Vibes, what's going on? What's going on? Jesse L, what's good? What's good? What's good? We got everybody tuning in live and direct. Appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for joining me today. Today's episode of Random Show will be a members only stream. Reminder, today's episode is a members only stream. I changed my mind. Tomorrow's won't be members only. Let me be nice. Tomorrow's won't be members only. Saturday's one will be members only. I'll do a Saturday day one and that'll be members only. Today's one will be available to watch. That's what I'll do. I changed my mind. I changed my mind. So tomorrow's one will be members only. I'll do Saturday. I didn't give you notice. So tomorrow's one will be members only. Just to give you a heads up, notice. Tomorrow's one, but you'll be able to watch it live if you're obviously on the stream. But to watch it a replay will be available only for members. So let me leave this one available for everyone to watch because it's Friday going into Saturday. Some of you might want to watch it later on in the morning, later on in the night. So I'll leave it up for everyone to watch. You get me? But big up everybody tuning in. Appreciate every single one of you. We don't have a lot to get through today, but we will get through some bits and bobs. So we will do what we can with the time available today. We got some podcast cringe stuff to react to. We got to finish the last episode of TFATK. We got some other miscellaneous clips to get into and stuff, and that's about it really. So yeah, man, grab yourself a drink and shit, and let's get strapped in and locked in and ready to roll. I've got myself a little drinky poo. I've got one of these like coffee things, right? These little coffee things. You seen these things? Hopefully that works. You see that? I've got one of these little coffee things, cinnamon roll flavor, a little iced coffee thing situation. So whatever you got, let me know, and let's flip and go, innit? Let's flip and go. You feel me? There is no dignified way to drink a can, innit? When you're on stream or when you're on camera, you always look a bit weird. You know, there's no cool way to drink from a can, is there? It doesn't exist, right? Every time I see myself drinking from a can, I always look a bit redacted, like, you know? There's no like cool way to drink it. And I'm not gonna drink it from a straw because I'm not fucking GAY. But I can't, like, you know, yeah. Just look lame, right? I look like, you know what I mean? I look like I'm like I'm chasing for something, you know? I just look weird. There is no cool way to drink from a can. I'm sure of it. What you guys saying? What you guys saying? What you guys saying? Get a straw like Papa. Nah, never straws. Never straws. Never drinking out of straw. Don't worry, not a full sip. Yeah, big up Dagan. Big up Dagan. Appreciate you, brother. I look like a slob. Yeah, we all look like slobs sometimes, you know? Zingle with a short shot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Caterpillar, exactly. That's what I need. Maybe I'll get some short shots. I'm out in Berlin next week, actually. Yeah, I'm in Berlin next week. So if you're on around, hang in there. I'm actually in Berlin next week from Thursday. So tune into those streams. They're going to be wild. You know how I like to get down over there in the fucking Berlin times or the Berlin setting. So we're going to have a Berlin stream on the Thursday. So you know how we're going to get down. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you tune in because it's going to get crazy. It's going to get fucking crazy. Hopefully I should get some patrons out before then. I need to fucking update the Patreon. I'm fucking slacking on that so fucking bad. I have to get a haircut as well. So much stuff. Anyway, Yeah, man, looking forward to it. Fucking looking forward to it. Haven't exactly have a 9.5 IPA. Yeah, honestly, Chin's a legend, man. Chin's a fucking legend. Big up LB. What parties you hitting up? Loads of parties, man. Obviously gonna go Berghain. Basically, I'm doing this to make up for my last trip. My last trip wasn't great. I didn't plan it well. I didn't do a bunch of stuff because I ended up peaking too early. And you know, those who know Wagwan when I say peak too early. So I peaked too early. Ended up not going to anything. I ended up spending more time streaming with you guys than I did actually partying. So I'm gonna go and hit more raves. I've got to go to a gallery as well. I'm gonna go to a few galleries, sorry, a few museums, and go check out those type of things. I might go to a couple of markets, and that's about it really. But I'm going everywhere. I'm going to all the clubs. I'm going to Berghain. I'm going to Paloma. I'm going to Roses. It's a nice little cocktail bar in Kreuzberg. I might hit up as well. I'm going to RSO, Trezor, Oxy, the whole shebang. I'm going everywhere. I'm going fucking everywhere. So I'm gonna try and hit it up. You know what I mean? You went to the brothel and peaked too early. Yeah. Something like that. Or something like that. Young God vibe. Something like that. Something like that. Something like that. But yeah, it was a madness. It was a madness. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm there. Oh yeah, Brian Luro, you're there, yeah? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll be there, brother. I'll be there. I'll pop in for a little bit. I'll be there, bro. I'll be there, brother. I'll pop in for a little bit. I'll be hanging in there doing the Lord's work all fucking week. Hitting the things, you feel me? But yeah, let's continue. Let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. So, first things first. First things first, man. Jesus Christ, bro. Thoughts and feelings. Thoughts and blood clot feelings go out to fucking Lily Allen. This is brutal. This is courtesy of the Shade Borough. Lily Allen checks into trauma clinic after split from husband David Harbour. Lily Allen has reportedly checked into a £8,000 per week trauma treatment centre after telling friends she was close to a nervous breakdown after the collapse of her marriage to Stranger Things actor David Harbour. The relationship went south after Lily Allen discovered Harbour 49 was seeing other women via celebrity dating app Raya. We're sending our best wishes to Lily on her road to recovery. Could you imagine being this big of an actor, right? And cheating on your very famous wife on Raya and thinking no one's gonna find you? Could you imagine? Could you imagine being as famous as fucking David Harbour, being beloved too? He's a beloved actor, you know, for his role in Stranger Things, and then cheating on your missus, who's fucking Lily Allen, one of the, you know, biggest pop stars, you know, to come from the UK and globally too. She's a bit of a celebrity in that regard, and you're cheating with her on like a celebrity dating app. And the problem with Raya too, like, I've never used it, I've never been on it, but I'm assuming it works like most dating apps. The problem with Raya is, like, you hear way more people who aren't on Raya talking about Raya, about which celebrities they've seen on there. It's one of those things that people love to do. I don't know why that's the case, but I feel like people love to talk about who's on Raya more than they'd love to use it. So if you are planning to cheat, it's probably the worst app, because people are super nosy on that app. They're always looking to, like, you know, show people like, oh my god, you won't guess who I saw on this app. So I don't know why he did this. This is so fucking dumb. Having his real name, you know, I love the illustration of himself, by the way. It's hilarious, right? He tried to be low. He tried to get low and have an illustration of himself so it wasn't so obvious, but people probably put the pieces together. And then whatever he did, I guess she probably, you know, confronted him and he probably confessed. And the fucked up thing is that he sent his wife into a trauma clinic. This is when you know you're a real piece of shit, innit? This is when you know you're a real piece of shit, dude. Because I think we've all been there with girls or with people that we're seeing, when, you know, when your girl you're with, like, cries for the first time, then you realize soon after that, you know, girls just love to cry, or girls can cry easier than guys anyway. So sometimes, even if she does cry, it doesn't sometimes hit as hard as it did the first time. But there are moments where you do realize that you do something that will tick them off, or that will send them on in a spiral. And if you're a decent person, you usually feel guilty. But I wonder how guilty this guy feels. I don't think he feels any remorse. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I don't think he feels any remorse. But this must be such a terrible feeling to know that you sent your girl into the loony bin you basically sent her to a nut house because you decided to cheat on her on like the most public private dating app that ever existed in Raya. Because it's, you know, it's a celebrity Tinder. I think you have to get recommended to apply to get on it, right? I don't even think you. Yeah, I think it's one of the things where it kind of works like what's that fucking app that everyone was talking on before? It works like one of those. It works like you know, any kind of limited edition app where I think that someone recommends you, and then if you get recommended, then you can open an account. But I don't think you can just open your own account because it's meant to be for celebrities or like high net worth type of people only. But Jesus Christ, man, thoughts and feelings go out to Lily Allen. That is fucking brutal. I think personally, like, this is a controversial point to make here. Controversial point? No, not that controversial, really. It's not. What I have to say is never controversial. But I think if you're a dude and you go out there and you're out on the strip sometimes, you're out there partying, and you happen to fucking fall into some nyash, that's one thing. But if you're going out of your way to make profiles on dating apps, probably just break up with a person, innit? Because guys are weird like that, innit? Us guys are weird like that. Sometimes if you fall into some nyash, it's not an indication that your relationship is terrible and you don't want to be in it. It just means, you know, you're just a dude and you just, you know, do what dudes do sometimes. But if you're going to the point where you're making dating profiles, where you're having like a second girlfriend that you're like lying about visiting, oh babe, I'm going to a meeting, and I mean, that's a bit much. If you happen to fall into something, that's one thing. But premeditated, making of fucking accounts with other names, having a second phone, that's too much, man. That just break up. Just break up, man. Leave the person alone. But some dudes, I feel like, are quite greedy, innit? In general, they're quite greedy. They don't want to let go. They want to have the person at home who's a guaranteed, and they also want all the options away. They don't want to be alone, but they also don't want to leave that person alone, which you probably should do, because sending your girl to the nut house, I don't know, man. You know, I've done some guy things before in my life, but I would feel terrible. I would feel terrible if my actions led to my wife going to a fucking nut house before she divorced me. I would feel so bad. Like, legitimately, I would feel so fucking bad. Like, the guilt would be incredible. But I've got a feeling people like this don't feel guilt. They don't feel any guilt. You know, he's probably like at home sleeping like a baby right now. David Harbour, I bet you any money he's probably sleeping like a fucking baby right now. He's probably on social media, checking his tweets, watching YouTube like the rest of us, you know, just chilling, answering some DMs. He doesn't give a Scooby, he doesn't give a flying fuck. But this is really fucking bleak, man. But I'm just laughing that he thought he could like cheat on Raya. That's absolutely hilarious, considering how famous he is too. Like, that's a like, oh, look his bio, closet nerd that plays tough guys on TV. That's a hilarious fucking bio. Oh my god. Anyway, thoughts and feelings go out to fucking Lily Allen. Hold your head up. Hold your head up, Lily Allen. Next, I want to talk about this because I haven't actually read through this, but I went to see Wild One with Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman's been accused of being a bit of a sex pest. He's been accused of being a granddaddy diddler. So I wanted to see Wild One with Neil Gaiman and why he's being cancelled at the moment. So let's see Wild One with Neil Gaiman. This article courtesy of the New Yorker. This is the big, you know, thing that was meant to be destroying him and shit. The title is "There's No Safe Word: How Best-Selling Fantasy Author Neil Gaiman Hid the Darkest Parts of Himself for Decades." Personally, I'm not surprised. I think any guy that's like a female feminist, or like a male feminist, I think most women should have their alarm bells ringing. Whenever a guy is like female, you know, male feminist type of shit, all that sort of nonsense, they're usually undercover creeps for the most part. I think the majority of guys like that anyway. But hey, what do I know? Let's read the article here. Scarlett Pavlovich was a 22-year-old drama student when she met the performer Amanda Palmer by chance in the streets of Auckland. It was a grey, drizzly afternoon in June 2020 when Palmer, then 24, was walking down the streets with actress Lucy Lawless, one of the many famous people in New Zealand, owing to her 6-season stint portraying Xena, the warrior princess. But Pavlovich noticed only Palmer, She watched her TED Talk, The Art of Asking, and was fascinated by the cult famous feminist writer and musician, but by her unabashed self-assurance. On the surface, Pavlovich appeared to be self-assured as well. A local girl, she had dropped out of high school at 15, travelled to Europe, Morocco, and the Middle East on the cheap, pausing in Scotland. There, Tilda Swinton gave her a scholarship to attend her Steiner School in Dromdawn, and London to work in the cabaret scene. Eventually, her visa expired and she ran out of money, and so in 2019 she returned to Auckland, where she enrolled in acting school and took a job at a perfumery. Pale and dark-haired, with wayfish, she favoured bold colours and outrageous outfits. On the day that she met Palmer, on most days then, she painted a triangle of translucent silver beneath her lower lashes, so it looked like as though she had been crying tears of glitter. It was Pavlovich who approached Palmer on the sidewalk outside the perfumery. She was surprised when Palmer texted her a few days later. "It's Amanda B. Palmer," she wrote, "your new friend." Palmer, an obsessive chronicler of her own life in songs and poems and blogs, posts and memoirs, got her start as a half of the punk band cabaret band Dresden Dolls, but she was perhaps more famous for her ability to attract high-knit, devoted following wherever she goes. In 2012, she became the first musician to raise more than $1 million on Kickstarter and later became one of the Patreon's most successful artists. As Palmer explained in her book, The Art of Asking, part memoir, part manifesto, on the virtues of asking for assistance on various kinds. So she wrote a book on begging, basically. I love that, bro. She wrote a fucking book on begging. This is only white people shit. Only white people can do this. Only white people can write a book on begging and it's a best-selling. I write a book on begging, people told me to go get a job. Fucking hell. The art of asking, you know, the art of fucking begging, you mean? Anyway, she had built her entire career on the messy exchanges of goodwill and swapping favors. Out of this mess, she argues, a utopian sort of community formed. There was no distinction between fans and friends. Over the following year and a half, Palmer and Pavlovich occasionally met for a drink and a meal. Palmer offered Pavlovich tickets to her shows and invited her to parties for the Patreon community. Oh, at a house on nearby Wakeland Island, a lush bohemian retreat in vineyards and golden beaches, more than 60 helipads to accommodate the billionaires who vacation there. Sometimes Palmer asked Pavlovich for favors, help her running errands and organizing files. Pavlovich was happy to assist. She had a crush on Palmer. She didn't mind that Palmer only occasionally discussed paying her, even though Pavlovich was also strapped for cash. For Pavlovich, who was estranged from her family and without a safety net, Palmer filled a deeper need. In 2020, Palmer invited her to hang out at her place for a weekend with a group of local artists. At the gathering, Palmer asked Pavlovich to babysit while she got a massage. Earlier the next morning, Pavlovich wrote a diary entry about the easy intimacy she felt with Palmer's sun-drenched home, where she'd read to Palmer's son, who was 5 at the time. Their limbs entwined, the years absent of touch build up like a grey inheritance. She wrote, "I'm hungry, I'm fucking famished." Okay, I want to see who these people are, because this is fucking worthy. All these paragraphs and still they haven't spoken about Neil Gaiman. Honestly, some of these articles are so annoying. Who's fucking Scarlett Pavlovich? I want to see who these people are. Who the fuck is this person? Who is that? Okay, cool. This lady here, right? Cool. That's Scarlett Pavlovich. I want to put a face to her name. Who the fuck is Amanda Palmer? Who the hell is that? Okay, Amanda Palmer is... Okay, this is Neil Gaiman's wife then, right? Or was Neil Gaiman's wife? Yeah, okay, cool. They were married in... Okay, they divorced in 22. Okay, cool. There. Now I've got some context. I'm thinking, who the fuck are these white people? Okay, cool. On February the 1st, 2022, Palmer texted Pavlovich and asked if she wanted to spend a weekend babysitting. Which would mean bouncing back and forth between house and husbands. Pavlovich had never met Palmer's husband, from whom she was... Oh, so Neil Gaiman was fucking the babysitter now. Okay, now we're getting juicy. Okay. Neil Gaiman was trying to fuck the babysitter. So Pavlovich had never met Palmer's husband, from whom she was separated, though of course she knew who he was. Neil Gaiman, the acclaimed British fantasist and author of nearly 50 books, including American Gods, Coraline, and the comic book series The Sandman, whose work was sold in more than 50 million copies worldwide. Gaiman and Palmer had arrived in New Zealand on March 2020, but just weeks later, their 9-year marriage collapsed and Gaiman skipped town, breaking COVID protocols to fly to his home in the Isle of Skye. Now he'd returned and was living in a house near Palmer's on Waiheke. Their previous nanny had recently left and she needed help. Pavlovich agreed and was pleased when Palmer offered to pay her for the weekend's work. That nanny that left, bro. That nanny that left. They had to ask questions about why she left. They should have asked questions. That's always a fucking red flag. Around 4 in the afternoon on February the 4th, Pavlovich took to the ferry from Auckland to Waiheke, then sat on a bus and walked through the woods until she arrived at Gaiman's house. An asymmetrical A-frame of a dark burnished wood. Palmer had arranged a play date for the child so not long after Pavlovich arrived, she found herself alone in the house with the author. Oh, here comes the issues. Okay, here comes the issues. You leave the babysitter alone with this guy that you just recently divorced. God damn. For a little while, Gaiman worked in his office while she read on the couch. Then he emerged and offered her a tour of the grounds. A striking figure at 6'1", his wild black curls threaded strands of silver, the author picked a fig, her favourite fruit, and handed it to her. He put it in her mouth as well. This is for you. Around 8 p.m, they sat down for pizza. Gaiman poured Pavlovich a glass of rosé and then another. He drank only water. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Another classic creepo move, innit? I'm going to give you the booze, I'll drink the water. That's a classic Crystalia move there. Classic Crystalia move, allegedly. They made awkward conversation about New Zealand, about COVID. Pavlovich had never read any of his work, and she was anxious to make a good impression. After she cleaned up the plates, Gaiman noted that there was still some time before they would have to pick up his son from his play date. I've had a thought, she recalls him saying. Why don't you have a bath in the beautiful claw bathtub in the garden? It's absolutely enchanting. Pavlovich told Gaiman that she was fine and she was, what? He told her to go have a bath. What type of riz is this? Why don't you go have a bath in the beautiful claw garden? It's absolutely enchanting. Pavlovich told Gaiman that she was fine, as she was, but ultimately she agreed. What? Honestly, being famous, man, being famous affords you some things. I don't think I could ever ask. So he doesn't know. So the first time he met this girl, he gets her to go and have a bath by herself. He just tells her to go have a bath and she goes to have it. Pavlovich told Gaiman that she was fine as she was, but ultimately she agreed. He needed to make a work call, he said, and didn't want Pavlovich to be bored. Gaiman led Pavlovich down the stone path into the garden to an old-fashioned tub with a roll top and walked away. She got undressed, sat in the bath, looked up at the fairy magneta blossoms on the Pohokutuawa tree, what that fucking saying is. A few minutes later, she was surprised to hear Gaiman's footsteps on the stones in the dark. She tried to cover her breasts with her arms. When he arrived at the bath, she saw that he was naked. Gaiman put on a couple of citronella candles, lit them, and got in the bath. He stretched out facing her and for a few minutes made small talk. He bitched about Palmer's schedule. He talked about his kid's school. Then he told her to stretch her legs and get comfortable. Wow. This is the first time he's met this girl. Fucking hell. Yo, Neil Gaiman is a wild boy. I said no. I'm not confident with my body, Pavlovich recalls. That's a weird response, isn't it? I'm not confident in my body. What? Anyway, I said no. I'm not confident with my body. He said, it's okay. It's only me. Just relax. Just have a chat. She didn't move. He looked at her again and said, don't ruin the moment. She did as instructed and he began to stroke her feet. At that point, she recalls, she left. She felt a subtle terror. The lack of fucking accountability and agency for some of these people as well is fucking shocking, isn't it? You just met this guy, you're meant to be babysitting, and somehow you end up in a bathtub naked, and you're trying to make it seem as if you were given no opportunity to just say no and leave. This is he put you under some sort of spell. Allow it, bro. Why are you in this bathtub naked? Why? Why? Why would you let him get in it first? Why are you in it yourself? Why are you letting him get in it? And now he's coercing you to give you a foot rub and shit. Gaiman asks, oh my god, here we go. Here we go. Gaiman asked her to sit on his lap. Pavlovich stammered out of a few sentences. She was gay. She'd never had sex. Yo, big up NJ Ranger.
Nice to meet you, babe. By the way, here are my balls.
No, not even that. Nice to meet you, babe. By the way, do you want to have a bath? Not even that. Nice to meet you. Not even nice to meet you, babysitter of my child, who I've just met today. Would you like to have a bath with me before we go pick up my kid? Or before my kid comes back? Is that okay? I know I've just met you now, and you're gonna look after my child. But do you want to jump in the bath quickly while my ex-wife is out? Do you mind jumping in this bath with me naked? Is that okay? And once I got a boner, do you mind sitting on my lap? Is that good? Just in this, is that good? Is that alright? What? While I feed you figs, is that okay? What the fuck is going on, man? Gaiman asked her to sit on his lap. Pavlovich stammered out a few sentences. She was gay. She'd never had sex. She'd been sexually abused by a 45-year-old man when she was 15. Gaiman continued to press. The next part is really amorphous. Okay, it's really amorphous, she tells. What does that mean? It's really amorphous. What does this mean? The next part is really amorphous. Having no definite form, shapeless, amorphous cloud of mass, being without definite character or nature. So the next part is really without form or nature. So she doesn't remember this. This is a bit cloudy and blurry, right? Okay. The next part is really amorphous, Pavlovich says. But I can tell you that he put his fingers straight into my ass. Whoa. Escalation. God damn it. The next part is really amorphous, but I can tell you he put his fingers straight into my ass and tried to put his penis in my ass. And I said, no, no, no. Then he tried to rub his penis between my breast, and I said no as well. Then he asked if he could come on my face, and I said no, but he did it anyway. He said, call me master and I'll come. He said, be a good girl, you're a good little girl. Holy shit, bro. He went from 0 to 100 real fucking quick. Oh my god. It went from have a bath, let me get in there with you, to touch your feet, to like dick in ass. No foreplay, no nothing, no? Just like the foreplay was what? Touching her feet. Fucking hell. Yeah, big up Asad Aziz.
Booty play. Called it. That's why you freshen up before.
Yeah, probably, yeah, true. I don't know, like, is that common though? Can I ask this normally? Is that common for dudes to just go straight for the arse? Is that is that a thing some of you guys are into? Or am I just a fucking good Christian boy? A very vanilla fucking missionary boy? Is that very common for people to go straight to the arse? What do you guys think? Is that common? P first, please. Yeah. Earthlube, you missing out. You missing out, Mr. Sleeper Girl.
Hey Neil Gaiman, stop stealing my moves.
Exactly. No, of course I know gay men do. I know gay people do, but for the heteros out there, for the straights out there, is that common to go straight to the arse? Is that something that people do? I've never heard of that, you know, like going straight there, like. Whew. Anyway, afterward, Pavlovich crouched down in the water and tried to clean herself off. Gaiman looked at her and smiled. Amanda told me I couldn't have you. Pavlovich recalls him saying, as soon as he'd heard this, he knew he had to have her. God, he continued, I wish it were the good old days where we could both fuck you. Neil Gaiman is a wild boy, bro. I'm gonna have to start writing books, man. I'm gonna have to start writing books. I might have to start writing books. He's getting away with murder, bro. This sounds like, but this sounds weird though. It kind of sounds like abuse. It sounds like R word, but it doesn't. You know what I mean? It's so confusing, this, like, because everything was a request. At no point did he force her to do anything. Everything was a request. It sounds like he politely like pushed her to like be like, hey, let's do this. But it didn't sound like he forced her to do anything, you know? I don't know, it just, but maybe that's the abuse part of it. It just sounds weird. Like, how did he get a babysitter that he doesn't know to jump in a bathtub naked? Like, that's a bit I'm not understanding. And allegedly the bathtub's outside. It's one of those outside bathtubs. Underneath some trees. It probably looks beautiful. But how do you get someone you don't know to get into a... Unless she's obviously a fan, that might help. I'm so confused. It's such a weird thing that this one story in it is bizarre. I don't know really what's going on there. So this is Neil Gaiman with Amanda. That's Amanda Palmer, I guess, the wife, the ex-wife. The Sandman in DC comic book series was that ran from 1989 to 1996, made Gaiman famous. He told a story about a writer named Richard Maddock. After Maddock's first book proved success, he sits down to write his second and finds that he can't come up with a single decent idea. This difficulty recedes after he accepts an unusual gift from an older author, a naked woman of a kind who has been kept locked in a room in his house for 60 years. She is Calliope, the youngest of 9 muses. Maddock rapes her again and again. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, now we're seeing where some of the fucking where he gets some of these ideas from. Jesus Christ. Maddock rapes her again and again, and his career blossoms in the most extraordinary way. A stylish young young beauty tells him how much she loved his characterization of a strong female character, prompting him to remark, "Actually, I do tend to regard myself as a feminist writer." His downfall comes only when the titular hero, the Sandman, also known as the Prince of Stories, frees Calliope from bondage. A being of boundless charisma and creativity, the Sandman rules the dreaming, the realm we visit in our sleep, where stories are spun. Older and more powerful than the most powerful gods, he can reward us with exquisite delights or punish us with unending nightmares, depending on what we feel we deserve. To punish the rapist, the Sandman floods Maddock's mind with such a wild torrent of ideas that he's powerless to write them down, let alone profit from them. As allegations of Gaiman's sexual misconduct emerged this past summer, some observers noticed Gaiman and Maddock had certain things in common. Like Maddock, Gaiman had called himself a feminist. Like Maddock, Gaiman has racked up major awards. For Gaiman, awards in science fiction and fantasy, as well as dozens of prizes for contemporary novels, short stories and poetry, television and film, helping make him, according to several sources, a millionaire many times over. And like Maddock, Gaiman has come to be seen as a figure of as a figure who transcends and transformed the genres in which he wrote. First comics, then fantasy, then children's literature. But for most of his career, readers identified him not with the rapist who shows up to a single issue, but with Sandman, the inexhaustible fountain of story. Wow, so he's actually Maddock, he's not the Sandman. That's fucking crazy. One of the Gaiman's greatest gifts as a storyteller was his voice, a warm and gentle instrument that he tuned through elocution lessons as a boy in East Grinstead, 30 miles south of London. In America, people mistakenly assumed he was an English gentleman. He spoke very slowly, in a hypnotic way, says one of his former students. He wrote that way too, with rhythm and rhyme and restraint, lulling you into a trance that way that the bard might have done with Lear. Another gift was his memory. So they're trying to assert that because he wrote in a particular way, that might have been the reason why that girl got into the bathtub naked. He put them in some sort of trance. Come on, man. She was a fan, innit? She was a fan. She got in there, thought she could have a bath and chill, and she quickly found out that he wasn't just about chilling. He went to stick dick in ass. He was on fucking aggressive timing. He didn't want to have a quick soak. He went to soak her. No pun intended. He has libraries full of books memorized. One of his old friends told me nothing that he could recall the pages of his favorite passages and recite them verbatim. His vast collection of eclectic, enough to encompass both of boxes of comics. From his boyhood works of Oscar Wilde, he received the gift as a bar mitzvah. For the Sandman, the forgotten DC property, he had been hired to dust off and polish up. Gaiman gave the hero a makeover, replacing his green suit, fedora, and gas mask with a leather armor of an angsty goth, and surrounded him with characters drawn from the books he could pull out of the shelves in his head. from timeless icons like Shakespeare, Lucifer, to obscure San Francisco eccentric Joshua Abraham Norton. Norman Mailer called it a comic strip for intellectuals. Gaiman and Sandman shared a penchant for dressing in black, a shock of unruly black hair. A descendant of Polish Jewish immigrants, Gaiman had gotten his start in the 80s as a journalist, covering Duran Duran, Lou Reed, and other brooding lords of rock. He was the closest thing that there was to an archetype. Women would turn up to his signings dressed in the elaborate Victorian Goth attire. His assistant wasn't around, and he was late for a reading. I can't get to it if I walk by myself, he told her. As they made their way through the convention side by side, the floor room full of people tilted and slid toward him, he says. They wanted to be entwined with him in ways which I was not prepared to defend myself against. A woman fell to her knees and wept. So it seems like in that alt world, like in all things, isn't it? I think it's like if you're in like the heavy metal world, if you're in the indie world and shit, those girls in the alt world, they're a bit freaky, innit? And they're very obsessed. They can get very they can get very attached to these people. So it seems like he exploited a lot of these girls who are into that sort of stuff, into fantasy, into comic books. Maybe are fans of him, maybe the music thing, maybe the way he speaks, the way he carries himself. He's a bit of a rock star, and he obviously exploited some of their trust. It seems like that's what they're trying to paint it as, to be honest. But that first story, I'm not too sure if I buy it. I don't know. It's a bit weird, that one. That girl had plenty of opportunity not to leave, and she continued to do whatever was going on there. I felt like there was a lot of like, I don't know, it felt somewhat consensual. Although it was, he was convincing her in some degree, but it didn't feel like he pinned her up against a wall anywhere. It didn't feel like she was, restricted and couldn't leave. She could have left at any point and she didn't. And then she got cummed on and shit. It's like, whoa. People who flock to the fantasy conventions and signings make up an inherently vulnerable community. One of Gaiman's former friends and fantasy writer tells me they wrap themselves around the beloved text so it becomes their self-identity. They want to share their souls with the creators of their work. And if you have a morality around it, you say no. It was an open secret in the late 90s and early aughts among convention goers that Gaiman cheated on his first wife, Mary McGrath, a private Midwestern Scientologist he'd married in the early 20s. Who's Mary McGrath? Let's see what she looks like. Let's see if there's a running pattern between these girls he dates. Oh, is that her? Yeah, that's Mary McGrath. Yeah, they have a particular look about them, though, isn't it? That's a cute lady, actually. They do have a particular look about them. It's the type of woman that you would imagine would be into him anyway. Do you know what I mean? That kind of like, that sort of literary lady. That's what she looks like. They all kind of have a particular look about them. That's for sure. In terms of what they look like. Yeah, the running theme is brunette so far. The running theme is brunette. It seems like he's a fan of brunettes. Let's go here. A private Midwestern Scientologist he'd married in early 20s, but in my conversations with Gaiman's old friends, collaborators and peers, nearly all of them told me that they would never imagined that Gaiman's affairs could have been anything but enthusiastically consensual. As one prominent editor in the field puts it, the one thing that I hear again and again, largely from women, is he was always nice to me. He was always a gentleman. So he fucked around, but he was a nice guy. So what is this article about then? Is this article about this guy just cheating like 100 times on his wife? Like, who gives a fuck, man? Not to be callous and shit, but it's like, I don't care, Okay, let his wife, let him and his family deal with it. Why are they writing this article? He's a terrible husband. Cool. The writer Kelly Link, who met Gaiman at a reading in 1997, recalls finding him charmingly goofy. He was hapless in a way that was kind of exasperating, but also made him seem very harmless. Someone who had a sexual relationship with Gaiman in the aughts recalls him flipping through questions fans wrote on cards at a Q&A. Once a fan asked if he could be his sex slave, he read aloud and said, well, no. He'd be very demure. Okay. Interesting, not an interesting anecdote at all. But there were some who saw another side of the author. One woman, Brenda, is that Brendan? A pseudonym, met Gaiman in the 90s at a signing for the Sandman, where she was working. On signing lines, Gaiman had a knack for connecting with each individual. He would ask questions, laugh, assure them that their inability to form sentences was fine. After the Sandman signing at a dinner attended by those who had worked at the event, Gaiman sat next to Brenda. Everyone wanted to be near him, but he was laser focused on me. A few years later, Brenda traveled to Chicago to attend a World Horror Convention where Gaiman received the top prize for American Gods, the book that cemented him as best-selling novelist. The night after the award ceremony, she and Gaiman ended up in bed together. As soon as they began to hook up, the feeling that had drawn her to him, the magical spell, vanished. He seemed to have a script. He wanted me to call him master immediately. He demanded that she promise him her soul. It was like he'd gone into this rich. Oh, shut up, man. So you fucked him and you regretted it. Like, what is this article, man? Some of these cancel culture things are so nonsensy. Like, did he do something bad or not? I feel like they're hollydicking us this entire article. They're trying to make us believe he's some sort of monster when it just sounds like he's a bullshit dirtbag of a husband who was probably, you know, loving the smell of his own farts and was fucking all his fans because his fans fucking loved him. I don't get this, man. Like, he had a lot of female fans. They went to fuck him and he fucked them too despite being married. Bad dude, of course, bad husband. But I don't see why this should need an article. This is weird, man. This past July, a British podcast produced by Tortoise Media broke the news that 2 women had accused Gaiman of sexual assault. Since then, okay, who are these women? Let me see that. Can I see those accounts, please? Because this whole article is just fucking honeydicking. Since then, more women have shared allegations of assault, coercion, and abuse. The podcast Master, reported by Paul Corona Galizia and Rachel Johnson, tells the stories of 5 of them. Gaiman's perspective on these relationships include with Pavlovich is that they were entirely consensual. I spoke with 4 of the women along with 4 others. I also reviewed contemporaries, diaries, entries, and texts and emails with friends, matched between Gaiman and women and the police correspondence. Most of the women were in their 20s when they met Gaiman. The youngest was 18. 2 of them worked for him. 5 were his fans, with one exception, an allegation of forcible kissing in 1986. Then Gaiman was in his mid-20s. The stories take place when Gaiman was in his 40s or older, a period in which he lived among the US and the UK and New Zealand. By then, he had a reputation for an outspoken champion of women. Gaiman insists on telling the stories of people who are traditionally marginalized, missing or silenced in literature, wrote Tara Prescott Johnson in an essay collection of Feminists of the World. Although his books abounded with stories of men torturing and raping and murdering women, this was largely perceived as evidence of his empathy. So he basically took advantage of the fact that he was championing women's causes, which brought him a big women's audience, and then he fucked a lot of them, you know, standard dirt bags type of shit. Dudes who are overly involved in women's issues anyway usually want to fuck. There are some good ones that exist, but for the most part, most guys who take up for women, who take up for women's causes, who are overly enthusiastic about sort of things, go to fucking rallies and walks and stuff and pussy power shit. They're usually guys who, you know, they're usually creeps on the low. That is something that I think most people should know anyway, or be aware of. If you're not, then, you know, you're very, very, very naive. Catherine Kendall, 22, when she met Gaiman in 2012, she was volunteering at one of his events in Asheville, North Carolina. He invited her to join him a few days later at an after party for another event where he kissed her. The two struck up a flirtatious correspondence, emailing, Skyping in the middle of the night. Kendall didn't want to have sex with Gaiman, and on one of their calls she told him this. Afterwards, she recorded his reply in her diary. He had no designs on me beyond flirty friendships, and I believe him thoroughly. She had grown up listening to his audiobooks, and she later told, heck, what is a flirty friendship anyway? What the fuck is that? All of these blurred lines, man. People just get themselves in trouble for no reason. I believe him thoroughly. She'd grown up listening to his audiobooks and later told Poplion de Bois, the host of the podcast I Am Broken, and then the same voice note that he told me those beautiful stories when he was a kid, was telling me a story that was safe and that they were just friends and that he wasn't a threat. Reading 10 months famous last words, isn't it? Famous last words. If any guy says to you, I'm not a threat, call the police. Call the police. If a guy says to you, don't worry, I am not a threat, I promise, call the police. Those are not words of somebody that is not a threat will say. Those are famous last words, mate. Reading 10 months later, Gaiman suggested that Kendall and 2 of the girls wait for him on his tour bus so that they could I thought it said bang. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that said bang out. I thought that said bang, but it says hang, so that they could all hang out after they're done signing. When Gaiman showed up, he pulled Kendall into the back of the bus and lay on top of her. He kept saying, "Kiss me like you mean it." Kendall remembers. She tried to get into it, but she was panicked. Eventually, Gaiman rolled off her. "I'm a very wealthy man," she remembers him saying, "and I'm used to getting what I want." Years later, Gaiman gave Kendall $60,000 to pay for therapy in an attempt, as he put it, to record a phone call to make up some of the damage. Holy shit. He's got zero game in it. Fucking hell. You tell a girl you want to be friends, flirty friends, then when you meet her in real life, she's on a tour bus with her friends, you pull her away from her friends, which is weird, and then you sit on top of her and try to what? Initiate something. And then obviously you leave her with emotional damage and shit. And then you send her 60k to make up for it. And then she still goes to the papers. This guy's a fucking walking L. Gaiman had been having sexual encounters with younger fans for a long time. Kendall Stout was 18 when in 2003 she drove 4.5 hours to Fort Lauderdale in Florida to see Gaiman read Endless Nights. Yo, I need to start writing books. This girl drove 4.5 hours. God damn it. God damn it, to see him reading. Fair play. She drove 4.5 hours to Fort Lauderdale, Florida to see Gaiman read from Endless Nights, a follow-up to Sandman. She met him in the signing line. Gaiman sent her a long email and bought her a web camera so that they could chat on video. Yo, that is crazy. Being in your 30s and buying an 18-year-old a webcam. Yo. Yo. Some of the shit you can get away with when you're white is just fucking brilliant. You can get away with some fucking shit. You can get away with some like borderline pedo shit when you're fucking white, man. Because what the fuck is that? Around 3 years later, around 3 years after they met, he flew to Orlando to take her on a date. So he must have been like in his 40s and she was like in the early 20s. He invited her back to his hotel room, put on a playlist of love songs, and held her down with one hand. Gaiman didn't believe in foreplay or lubrication. Yeah, we know, bro. He went to stick his thing in her butt when she was in the bath straight away. Gaiman didn't believe in foreplay or lubrication, Stout tells me, which could make sex particularly painful. When she said it hurt too much, he'd tell her the problem was she wasn't submissive enough. He talked at length about the dominant and submissive relationship he wanted out of me. Stout had no prior interest in BDSM. She says Gaiman never asked what she liked in bed, and there was no discussion of safe words or aftercare or limits. He'd ask her to call him master and beat her with his belt. There were no these were not sexy little slaps, she says. When she told him that she didn't like it, she says he replied, "It's the only way I can get off." Gaiman told Stout that he'd been introduced to these practices by a woman he'd met in his early 20s who had asked him to whip her pussy. At the time, he claimed to Stout that he was such a naive Englishman that he thought she meant her cat. Then she handed him a flogger and told him to use it on her vagina. "This was what gets me off now." Stout recalls him saying, "Yo, TMI, fucking Gaiman, bro, TMI." A similar antidote shows up in an interview Gaiman gave in 2022 biography of Kathy Arca, the late experimental punk writer and Gaiman befriended in his 20s, but he offers a different account of how it affected him. When Arca asked him to whip her pussy, he found it profoundly unsexual. He told the interviewer, "I did it and ran away." He identified himself as a very vanilla. In 2007, Gaiman and Stout took a trip to the Cornish countryside on their last night there. Stout developed a UTI that had gotten so bad that she couldn't sit down. Oh, don't tell me he forced her still. Don't tell me he forced her still. She told Gaiman that she couldn't fool around, but that any penetration would be too painful. "It was a big hard no," she says. "I told him you cannot put anything in my vagina or I will die."
What else y'all got, Chin?
Y'all don't like this. Big up Quinn. If y'all guys, if you want me to stop, if you want me to stop and move on, 1's in the chat. If you want me to continue, 2's in the chat. If you want me to continue on about Neil Gaiman's fantasies, 1's in the chat. If you want me to, no, if you want me to stop, 1. If you want me to continue, 2. 1 stop, 2 continue. 1 stop, 2 continue. What we got here? I see loads of 1's in the chat so far. I see loads of 1's. I see some 2's now. 1's stop, 2's continue. Oh, it's quite tight, you know. It feels quite tight right now. No pun intended. It feels kind of tight. No pun intended. It feels kind of tight. I'm gonna have to do a poll. I have to do a poll. It feels kind of tight, man. It feels kind of tight. It feels kind of tight. Should I continue getting off on NG story? Yes. Let's see what you guys say. There we go. You got 3 minutes or 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes. Vote. You got 2 minutes. Whatever you guys say, I'll do. If you want me to stop, I'll stop. I think some of you guys are getting grossed out by this, which is understandable. Oh, what are you guys saying here? It's almost as tight as.
It's almost as tight as Neil Gaiman's Behold Victim.
Oh, what's the poll saying? What's the poll saying? Oh wow, okay, cool. Overwhelming, okay, cool. It's overwhelming. 48% says, should I continue? Yes, it's 29. So far, no is 48%. Okay, cool. I'll stop. I'll leave it there. How much more is there left? How many paragraphs? Oh, we got pictures too. There's so many paragraphs left. Okay, cool. Maybe I'll do this on the next episode. Jesus Christ, how many paragraphs have to go? There's so many pictures too. What is this? Is this after she got fucked by Neil Gaiman with no lube? Is this how she looks after she got smashed with no lube? Bless her, man. Like, I shouldn't be laughing, but Jesus Christ, man. Oh my God. Look how many paragraphs there's in this article. Are you okay? No, you cunt. You smashed me without lube. Of course I'm not okay. Are you okay? You know, fucking no, Neil Gaiman. Alright, cool. I guess I'll read this another time. The poll has spoken. The poll has spoken. Let me go back to the bit that I left it at. Where did I leave it at? I left it somewhere, right? Where did I leave it? I left it somewhere. Where did I leave it? He told me to call him master. Where did I leave it? I left it somewhere. I forgot where I left it. I think I left it here. Where's it? Kendra Stout. Yeah, I think I left it with Kendra. So I think I'm gonna leave it there. So let's move on. Let's move on. Cool. Elon Musk has got in a bit of hot and bother. Let me take off this jacket actually. All that talk about assholes. Got me hot and bothered. Alright, cool. Let's continue. Elon Musk removed Asmongold's check mark and leaked private DMs after the POE criticism. So do you guys know what's happening with this, by the way? So essentially, I don't know if you guys know, but Elon has been involved in some weird drama. Let me end the poll. I want to end the poll now. He's been involved in some weird drama with Asmongold regarding like a game. So allegedly, Elon Musk is lying about some game that he allegedly plays. And from what I've been reading online, this game requires a lot of time. It requires you to put a lot of hours in to get a particular rank. But Elon brags that he's this high-level gamer and he's also, you know, got this particular rank in this game. But everyone that plays that video game is like, no, it's impossible that he could have that rank and do the things that he does. Someone else obviously runs the account. He just plays it from time to time. He argued against it, and then I guess he went on stream one time playing this game, and people that play the game could easily spot that he wasn't good at the game or didn't know what he was doing, based on some actions he was doing in the game itself. Like if you're a beginner, you would do it, but if you're an expert and you kind of had put as much time into it as his ranking would suggest, you wouldn't be doing the mistakes that he was doing. So anyway, this somehow I guess leads into Asmongold, maybe because Asmongold probably plays that game, and that's one of his kind of games that he streams. Either way, it's now all spiraled into a thing of him removing Asmongold's Twitter checkmark, bringing it back again, exposing DMs, calling him out for having editors, like just a fucking mess of a situation. But in the end, it just goes to show just how fragile Elon Musk's ego is. It's not enough that he's, you know, seen as some sort of fucking inventor, maverick guy. He also still wants to be like a wizard and this like high level gamer guy, which doesn't make any sense really. Because if you run all these companies that you allegedly say you run, where would you have so much time to like play video games? It doesn't make any sense anyway. That's not a slight. It's just one of those type of things. But I guess in Elon's world, you know, these type of things make sense. And me being a fan of him, this new version of Elon sucks so fucking bad. It's like Joe. Like being a fan of Joe and seeing the Joe that's turned up, or the Joe, how Joe's ended up now, it's kind of heartbreaking. I'm not gonna lie. Same goes with Elon. He comes across like a little bit of a cunt. Not gonna lie. So this is a tweet from Elon that says Asmongold behaves like a maverick, independent, but in reality he has to ask his boss for permission before he can do anything. He's not his own man, which is okay, cool. And then he leaks DMs with Asmongold, aka Zach. I'm gonna big up Ninja Ranger.
Elon is well known as a fake gamer. He once posted his Elden Ring build and he was overweight with 2 shields in his hands. Also this MF was playing Fortnite on a stream as his alter ego and this bum used a shotty from 200 meters. Kids game, bro. Cringe.
I don't know what any of that means, but I'm guessing that means he's faking the funk. I don't know what any of that fucking means, but I guess it means he's faking the funk. And like I said, I don't see why this is an important thing. Like, I don't see why. I guess he's trying to be cool in it. He's trying to act like, oh, look, I also play video games. I'm also down. But it's like, I don't know. Why is it cool? Why, like, isn't it enough just to say you play them? Why do you have to be like a master or like a top level ranked person? Why can't you just be into video games, play them casually, instead of being the expert, best level? Like, huh? Like, which one do you want? So he wants you to believe he runs all these companies himself, which is debatable. But he also wants you to believe that he's this top level gamer. Like, come on, bro. Like, what? Competition level? Like, come on, bro. Come on. So this is a screenshot. Big up NJ Ranger. Appreciate it, brother. This is a screenshot that says, I'm going to see if my editors might want to make a second account for it even. And then Elon replies back and says, sure. Who are these mysterious editors? He replies back and says, 2 guys. They basically run the entire YouTube account. So basically any content I post is edited or uploaded by them, and they just get a cut of the ad revenue. It's super good system. And to be honest, almost everyone on YouTube does it. What's wrong with that, by the way? That makes complete sense. If you're a big account, if you're a big YouTube, if you're a big streamer and you have somebody running your clips channel, that's actually a good idea because you get to focus on the streams and then they can pull clips and upload them onto your clips channel. And because they have access to the back end, they can see how much money that, like, it's all transparent. They can see how much AdSense you're making, and then you just split it between the 3 of you, the person that's a talent and the editors. Which probably explains why those clip channels are so quick with uploading clips, because the editors are incentivized, because if they upload the clips quicker and they get more money and they get more views, they get more money. It's a pretty decent system. It makes complete sense to me. I don't see why this makes him not his own man. He's just being efficient, you know? It's basically, it's like he's running his own company, essentially. These are kind of quote unquote his employees in a way. I don't see why this is a problem. Why is Elon trying to like big time him because he's got editors? Like what? Asmongold finds out the stream that Elon unfollowed him. Oh yeah, this is brilliant. Let's watch this clip. Asmongold finds out that Elon Musk unfollowed him live on stream. Brilliant.
Elon unfollowed Asmon? Was he not happy about the probably not happy about the PoE video? He'll get over it. Listen. It was so obvious. You cannot get mad at me for bringing this up. Everybody was talking about this. Come on, man. Come on.
I just don't understand this controversy. I don't get it. Like, why is he so bothered about being seen as like a high-ranking gamer? Like, I get playing games is good. I get playing games is fun. But why is he so bothered about being like the highest level? Like, he has to be the highest level of everything. Like, It's so pathetic. It really is. It really is incredibly pathetic, man. Asmongold goes on to defend a billionaire.
I feel like, again, people hate him for the dumbest fucking reasons.
Bootlicking.
It is the dumbest fucking reasons. Like, I think that Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, and there's like 2 or 3 other people that everybody is so, like...
Big up Caterpillar. I changed my mind. Go back to the Arsman Diaries. Hilarious. Big up Caterpillar.
They're so mad about. And I really think that, like, it's somewhere in the middle. Maybe somebody's not the Messiah, but they're not the devil either. Ben Shapiro? Yeah, MrBeast.
This guy has the worst opinions, isn't it? He has the worst opinions. He lives like a fucking bum, and he has the worst opinions in the world. Like, shut the fuck up, man. Anyway, link to the video that riled up Elon. LSF users react to the news. Let's see what these users are saying. What's this? Let's see this thread here. The richest man in the world crashing out because a man who lives in mold with roaches everywhere said something mean to him is wild. Narcissism is a hell of a drug. That's a good point. I never thought about it that way. I never thought about it that way. The richest man in the world crashing out because a man lives in mold and roaches said something mean to him. Exactly. Who are these mysterious editors, LMAO? Multiple people have said he thinks they are like newspaper editors. They control Asmon. Only thing really fits the way he worded it. Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, cool. So he thought Asmon's editors means they edit what he says, not editors in terms of like they edit clips for him on his channel. Yo, Elon might not be as smart as people all think he is, isn't it? Or maybe what I thought he was, right? Elon might not be that smart. Jesus Christ. So he thinks Asmongold has like editors who kind of tell him what to say and what not to say. What? He's so fucking dumb. Okay. Elon showing he doesn't understand how social media works while owning a social media company. On brand when you remember he doesn't understand how cars work but has a car company. What? Really? Just like how he has a rocket company and doesn't know how rockets work. Elon buys companies, takes credit, and thinks it makes him look cool. I really think Elon assumes the editors are like millionaires who secretly own Asmongold's Twitch account. Do people think he doesn't understand cars? Why do they think that? That's got to be one of the greatest scams in the world. If what people say about Elon is true, that's got to be one of the greatest scams in the world, isn't it? I don't buy it totally, this narrative that he just buys companies and stands in front of all the great presentations and act like it's all his. I don't buy it. But it has to be one of the greatest scams in the world if you can buy all these companies, hire great amazing talented people, rally them behind you, but then purport to be like, because I think at SpaceX or at Tesla, isn't he like chief engineer? Isn't that his like official title? He's like chief engineer at one of those places. So he doesn't only want to be a CEO that kind of oversees the company operations. He wants to be known as somebody that's like hands-on. No, I'm actually designing these rockets. I'm actually designing this propulsion system. I'm actually designing, you know, the batteries. I'm actually designing this engine layout. I'm actually designing this dashboard, this interior, this new seating plan. You know what I mean? Like, he wants to be known as that kind of guy. It's got to be one of the greatest scams in the world if he's been able this whole entire time to buy these companies, stand in front of them, and act like he's doing everything when he's not doing everything. When he's not doing as much as he says he's doing anyway. And he doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't think that's the case. Maybe he's taking credit for things he doesn't do, fair, but I don't think he doesn't know completely nothing. I don't think that's the case. Maybe I'm coping here, but I don't think that's the case. The fact that one of the main reasons Elon got his ego bruised is because of Quinn has me fucking dying. Elon tried streaming PoE again yesterday, and it was a shit show because only a corner of the stream was showing up throughout, so he eventually gave up and ended the stream. I heard it mention omens, so the fact that he probably brushed up on his knowledge just for that shit show of a stream where 99% of the comments were bots. A moment from said stream. Okay, cool. Elon continued on. He's not good at video games. I'm on 100 streams on YouTube and Twitch playing live with the world's best players. No other way to say this, but while Asmon is good at caustic commentary and making fun of people, he's not good at video. Like, what the fuck is this timeline with, boy? What is the fuck is this timeline where Elon is arguing about who's good and who isn't good at video games? What the fuck is wrong with this guy, man? Elon, bro, what are you doing? Well, Asmon is good at caustic commentary and making fun of people, he's not good at video games. Okay? Yeah, big up Wesley. How many balconies does Elon have is hilarious. Pick up Brian Laura. AZ, you really believe that he's a master coder? Okay, see, Brian Laura, why do you put it like that for? Huh? Why are you trying to embarrass me? Why are you trying to embarrass me, Brian Laura? Why are you trying to put it in such easy words, in such plain terms like this and make me look dumb? Brian Laura, AZ, you really believe that he's a master coder, electrical engineer, rocket scientist, geologist, and greatest video game ever player? I'm gonna be naive and say yes. I think I actually did at one point. I believe he did all those things. And CEO and founder. That's when you put it like that, it makes sense. Master coder, electrical engineer, rocket scientist, geologist, and greatest video game player. I'm so yeah. Oh my god, Gorlock, you're a dickhead, Gorlock. AZ getting in the tub with Elon, yeah. I'm sticking my toes in his mouth, bro. I'm sticking my toes in Elon's mouth voluntarily. Then you have to ask me twice. Here's me doing a world record Diablo AOZ clear with Ace of Spades on stream. The video game tweet comes hours after Destiny made fun of Asmongold's World of Warcraft gameplay, right? I'm assuming. Wow, he's getting dunked on by Destiny.
Asmon has a video on this as well, where he is on the side of pirate. I think that Asmongold's knowledge for World of Warcraft, I would probably side with him. If he's defending pirate here, I think I would over Soda. I think Asmon actually has more experience. But the only issue is I don't think they're farming mounts here while just reading chat. So because they're actually playing the game on this, I think I'd probably go with Soda Poppet's commentary, I think, over Asmongold's, but that's just me. Asmon has a video on this as well, where he is on the side of pirate. I think that
before and after Asmongold losing Twitter verification. Wow, he actually took it away. Everybody's always talking about hoflation, but it's actually the opposite. Wow, he actually took away his verification, you know. That is crazy. So he paid for Twitter verification. That's the thing that's funny about this. So now with verification on Twitter, you have to pay for it. They don't give it to you if you're a celebrity. You have to pay for verification. So if you pay for a verification badge, someone taking it off of you because they got into arguing with you is fucking incredibly lame, innit? The owner of the fucking app taking it away from you because he got into some sort of spat over a video game is fucking hilarious. He legit took it away from him. Asmongold is the Reddit of Asmongold is popping off. Asmongold just lost his blue check mark on Twitter. Elon, the knight of free speech, has zero tolerance against valid criticism. Not gonna lie, this is increasing my respect for Asmon. Elon Musk has unfollowed Asmongold. He must not have been amused by the recent call out. God, he even unfollowed him. Asmongold trying to decide if it's better for his career to farm Elon or just ignore him. Here's a snippet of Asmongold's YouTube video that might have upset Elon. Let's see. This is the video that upset Elon, yeah? Let's see what he said about Elon. Let's see what he said. Let's see that was so brutal that got Elon to remove a fucking verification mark from him.
Like, I remember watching Elon playing, and I was kind of sus about this too. I was like, yeah, I'm not really gonna think about this or be like super like, oh yeah, this is what's happening or not. But like, whenever I saw him fighting Abattoir, no, Abattoir is fucking that is Diablo. Fighting the Arbiter of Ash, and then he stood in front of the beam and died. I was like,
oh, okay, I get what's going on here. So these are like what are they called again? Are they role-playing games? So these are like those role-playing games, those really laborious, almost boring ones, super tedious. But they're also the games that a lot of geeks and nerds play. So I guess because he's trying to like prop up this image of himself being a nerd and a geek. That's why he's so bothered about being seen as good at these games, right? Because these games are associated with nerds and geeks and people who are good at computers, who maybe have high IQ and shit. That's what he's doing, right? Is that, I think that's what I'm getting at. I'm trying to think, like, why is he so bothered about his video game? But I guess the video game has like a kind of cachet behind it. You can kind of be seen as somebody that's a bit, you know, bruv unlocked his I have no idea what's going on. I'm just hanging around to play ukulele. Okay, big up Wesley Harris. This is only homeless. Elon is so fucking dumb for this. Yeah, I think this is the cause. I think this is because these games are like geek games. He wants to be seen as a geek. Hence why he's lying about this shit. I think so.
Like, that's interesting. You know, maybe it's Starlink lag, but like it doesn't seem like that a whole lot. But yeah, Elon's a psycho. So many stories like this. Well, I think that we deserve, if he wants an apology, we deserve, if you really played the game, play through the campaign again. Play through the campaign again.
Big up Jack Donahue Jr. D4 is a hack and slash fantasy game, and it's a smart guy game. Maybe if you look, okay, cool. I see him. I see him. So it's not a smart guy. Okay, it's not a smart guy game. Okay. He don't want to keep his nerd status, but he's never been a nerd or a tech guy, just a rich grifter. Yeah, it's kind of feeling like that, isn't it, King Bayo? It's kind of feeling like that, mate.
Explain the systems in the game and do it live. And you've got to have a face cam. You got to do it. You did it before. You did it before with Diablo. Diablo's not. It's not so hard, right? But that, yeah, stream it. Yep, you got to stream the whole thing. Yep, not on X. Yeah, and tell me ahead of time so I can react to it.
So that was the video that got him so pissed off. That didn't seem too bad. Quinn 69, the guy who technically kicked off this whole drama, shares his thoughts.
But now I'm starting to wonder, like, wait a minute. Wait, was that, like... What? Maybe I wasn't wrong. Maybe Asmongold wasn't pointing it. Based on the outcome of what's happening right now, maybe Asmongold didn't want to talk about it because he knew Elon would have a meltdown because he knew Elon's a little soy boy, better cuck bitch, bro.
Okay.
But now I'm starting to wonder, like, wait a minute. Wait, was that...
Major...
Like, what? Maybe I wasn't wrong. Maybe Asmongold...
Major update. Asmongold checkmark is back. Okay, that's basically the end of it. That's the end of the story. So far, is there any more updates with this person? Pretty crazy situation, isn't it? One of the richest men in the world, as that Reddit comment said, is beefing with Asmongold because people think he's not as good as the game as he thought he was. Absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. After starting the Asmongold drama, Quinn asked Piers uncensored with... Whoa, really? That's sick. He's going to be on Piers Morgan. That's amazing. He's going to be on Piers Morgan discussing this whole shit.
Yeah, chat. So there's been a development.
That's amazing.
What do you guys think? This is probably the biggest dick one I've had. I've had like a few that should have been on TV, but this one is this one here. Piers Morgan show. I've been saying no up until this point, but that one goes hard, right? That one goes hard, right? Should I say yes to that one?
That's pretty funny. That's gonna blow up to a whole nother audience.
When is it?
That's gonna blow up to a whole nother audience. Okay.
A debate?
Unless they are paying you, say no. You are going to hate it.
What do you mean I'm gonna hate it? What do you mean debate? What can they possibly say? What can they possibly say, bro?
Yeah, that's a good point, see. I didn't think about it, actually. Piers is loving internet drama. It brings in more views than whatever else is good we're doing. Yeah, that's the truth, because this is really niche news. This is really niche internet news, but a lot of people who are into this sort of stuff will watch it. So he'll get crazy amounts of views, probably more than he usually gets, because of how niche it is and because how dedicated that fan base is. It's a really good point.
I'm not gonna get paid. I'm saying what? No, but what can they possibly say?
Okay. Quinn, chat lets him know that Piers usually hosts debate style panels. Quinn says he'll ask production, but he's ready to go regardless. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Let's see how that plays out. Let's move on. Fearbuck. Fousey dropped a diss track on almost all the top streamers. I know some of you hate Fousey, but we're going to react to Fousey's new music video. It's called BBL Rage from Crash Out YSE, which is Fousey's new pseudonym now. Fousey is dead. Crash Out YSE is his new pseudonym. It's what he's going by. He's got a new track called BBL Rage. Let's see what Fousey is doing right now.
I love you, Poppy.
Hey, nah, TJ, you can't smoke in here. Nope. Thank you. Yeah, prove them wrong once, now I'ma prove them wrong again. Keep on laughing at my song, now I'ma put this all to end. They all buying view, boss.
We're still laughing. We're still fucking laughing.
Just try to get a win. Hey, Rage, tell the world you get injections in your chin. All that and still they're saying.
You can't say injunctions in your chin if you can't pronounce injunctions, and you're saying inject. So you said injunctions instead of saying injections, right? How can you call some out for getting injections when you can't say the word?
Hey, Rage, tell the world you get injections in your chin.
Yeah.
All that and still they're saying cuff him is your twin. Bitches, why I see if they don't catch his drift, then I'm gonna spin. Kai don't got no mind of his own, he follow trends. Got a music stylist, got a fit stylist. Oh, he think he's stylish. Pussy, I want violence.
What?
Grown man 5'2", probably why he childish. You don't got no game.
Jesus Christ, man. This guy makes fucking Ice Spice sound like Nas.
But we friends though. Violent, yeah. He a fan. You was taking pics with me and posting all up on the gram, getting bands. I just bought a supercar because I can. Hey, bitch, I feel like Mary. I just pulled up with a lamb and I'm not stopping. Only thing I'm worried about from Max is a snot rocket. Every time Silky out of state, he start pop locking. Lil TJ, bitch, you in your crib. That shit hot topic. Couldn't happen to the big G7 president.
What?
Did you wanna talk? Your brother cared, you was evident. Agent, you just gotta hit the gym and don't be hesitant. Neon, he don't got no testosterone, he feminine. And that's the reason why I'm about to fuck Sam Frank. I got dick for her and
What kind of rhyme was that? Neon is. What kind of rhyming scheme was that? From the Neon to the Sam Frank thing. What kind of rhyme scheme was that?
he don't got no testosterone, he feminine. And that's the reason why I'm about to fuck Sam Frank. I got.
What? He's got no test. That's his feminine. That's why I'm gonna fuck Sam Frank. It just ended there. The rhyme didn't continue. No rhyme scheme there.
Gotta hit the gym and don't be hesitant. Neon, he don't got no testosterone, he feminine. And that's the reason why I'm about to fuck Sam Frank. I got dick for her and I got dick for Darla A. Hit them bitches at the same time, this shit a parlay. Lacy fat as fuck, the only thing he wants is parfait. He's so fucking Chuck E. Cheese, should work at an arcade. Just for laughing at my song and trying to make me take a nail. They just trying to pull the rug from under me like Haley Welch. Yeah, Lowe's, you so fucking out of shape, you break the scale. Bitch, crash or why I see.
You know what's funny about these raps? They're so bad, but I bet you he still gets help for them. They're still terrible as fuck, but the really sad part about it is that I bet he actually gets help for these terrible bars. He doesn't even make them up himself. He doesn't even write them totally himself. He definitely gets help, and it's still arse juice.
They should have known to save themselves. Yeah. Prove them wrong once, now I'ma prove them wrong again. Keep on laughing at my song, now I'ma put this all to end. They all buying view, boss, just try to get a win. Hey, Rage, tell the world you get injections in your chin. Hey, BBL Rage, BBL Rage, BBL Rage, BBL Rage, BBL Rage, BBL Rage. Hey, Rage, I love you. I don't know if the accusations were true or not. You know, Twitter tabloids, I mean X, they be crazy. Don't sue me, love you. Yeah, prove them wrong once now.
I like how the song finishes and you got like 20 seconds of dead air. So it's technically a 1 minute 40 something minute song, but the runtime is 2:21. I love that this is a new thing that he does. Like there's no third verse. It's just like, let's just end the song with like 20 plus seconds of dead air. I'm curious to see how it plays out for him, man. I really am curious to see what happens with fucking Fousey. How does it end? How does it actually end, this story? Because he seems like he's addicted to the attention. He can't not just go away. He can't just do streaming normally. He kind of loves this manic thing that he's got going on because it kind of brings him views and it probably pays pretty well. I'm assuming he's probably got a lot of subs. But it's also very tiring after a while. Even though I'm a fan of the manic, of the craziness, it gets a bit tiring after a while. It gets a little bit like, I'm kind of bored, you know? Like, can you give me something else? Or can you just go back to normal and just do vlogs again, please? Or just sit down at a desktop and do like regular streams? Like, I don't know. This new persona, this whole thing is just annoying. Like, especially when you know it's forced and it's all kind of, it feels almost scripted. It's a little bit too much, you know? I can't really be, I don't know. But maybe that's the whole point. I want to know how it ends. I just want to know how it ends for him. How's it going to end? Do we wake up one day and see a TMZ article? Does he just keep on doing this until the fucking wheels fall off? Like, is he not tired himself of doing this shit? Okay, people are saying, I'm not going to read what people are saying in the stream chat, but people are saying how it's going to end, and it's not nice. I'm not going to read what the comments are saying in the stream chat, but they are hypothesizing. They are hypothesizing on some eventual outcomes on how it could end, and I'm not gonna repeat. I don't want to repeat it because I like Fousey. I like crazy people. I like people who love to crash out. I love the unhinged. So I'm not going to repeat some of the things that have been said on stream, because yeah. But big up the stream. Big up the stream chat. Big up the stream chat. You guys are always on point. You guys are always on point. Next clip here, we have this man returned to his property after evacuating his family during the LA fires to save his one of 1,963 Porsche 911 ST and leaves his Tesla behind. This is actually a smart decision, I think, right? For all my people out there who are car heads, running back to your LA home to save your one-of-a-kind Porsche instead of the Tesla is actually a good decision to make, because that Porsche looks fucking beautiful. This is him taking his Porsche out of the way to go save the fucking, to go take the Tesla out of the way, sorry. He's taking the Tesla out of the way to make room to pull out the Porsche out of the garage, and then he's driving it off. That's a fucking beautiful Porsche, isn't it? Look at that. And then the TRX truck goes as well, right? I don't know what kind of Porsche that is, but that's lovely, man. I'm gonna take off the sound. That is so fucking nice with the fucking silver edges around the windows, or the silver rims around the windows, and that fucking, and those white wheels as well, the white rims. Like, look at that Porsche. That's beautiful, man. Classic. Nothing too crazy. I think that's a black. I think, is that black paint, black spray? Is that black, the color? Maybe it's navy. I'm not too sure. That's a really nice Porsche. I wonder how many Teslas got left behind. I wonder if a lot of Tesla, maybe the Teslas exasperated the California fires. Maybe some Teslas were also lit on fire during the wildfires, which made the fires even worse. Or the batteries going up in smoke. I wonder if that's the case. I fucking wonder. But yeah, fucking nice car, man. Really, really fucking nice car. Very, 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 very nice car. People probably live in a Tesla. Yeah, true. People probably live in a Tesla. That's probably very true. But yeah, crazy situation there. Crazy situation. Next one we got here is UFC fighter Tracy Cortez submits Neon. Big up Tracy Cortez and a massive wagon.
No, why does this always happen to me? Shit!
Jesus. How easy was that?
Just relax.
How easy was that?
Just relax. Don't forget to tap if you need it.
If you need it. Jesus.
I'm blacking out.
I think you need
I'm blacking out.
glasses on.
I'm blacking out, Tracy.
It's okay.
Tracy, if you fuck with me, you'll get me some water, please.
Just breathe.
That was so easy. That was, people saying in the stream chat I'm hard, yeah. That was too easy.
No, why does this always happen to me? Shit!
Fucking hell. How easy was that?
Just relax. Just relax. Just relax.
Just relax, you know. Me next. look at the comments. Look at the comments. Me next. Look at the comments. The same people in the stream chat as well. Look at the comments. Me next. Bro was fighting 2 battles at once. 2 battles at once. How I need Tracy to do me the fight. Bro, moan like a girl. Honestly, so the comments here are fucking disgusting. Big up MrBeast giving a tour of his $2 million new gym. MrBeast has got a new gym. Looks pretty sick, to be unfair. Looks pretty sick.
First, let me ask, how much does this whole gym cost?
We probably spent $2 million.
Wow. I mean, judging by the look of this, I mean, this is pretty crazy. This is Chris Bumstead's gym right here, plus a basketball court. What's your go-to situation to work out?
Oh, I mean, obviously basketball is the most fun.
I have to 1v1 you or at least play.
The crown jewel of this is
that's sick.
On every dumbbell is the Beast logo, but it's not a sticker. See how it's engraved?
in there.
I don't know why, but I thought that was cool. Now I need you to turn with me. Turn, dramatic, hand up. Whoa!
That's a pretty cool one.
Motivating because it just looks kind of creepy. My eyes aren't even open.
It's a little creepy.
It is very creepy.
Wow. Okay, Jimmy.
You want to just live here?
Yo, what's happening to the fucking screen? Why can't I see the screen?
Thing that is in every gym with the cables.
Sorry, 1 second.
You cable crossover.
Jimmy, get in here.
Why
You're
is
gonna give me the
the
seat buckle?
Yes.
It's like a little airplane.
There we go. How often do you train legs?
I mean, we just do push-pull legs. Yeah.
Well, that's a bodybuilder split.
Yep, good day off. I'm trying to get like you.
Who would you say is your favorite fitness creator?
I really like Chris Bumstead.
What the heck, Jimmy?
What now? To the best part. This is just a little room where I can hide out.
Yeah, this is a vibe, you know?
I could live in this gym. This gym has everything I need. And now, the best part of the tour.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. He's got a cool gym. Looks a little bit, you know, looks a bit naff in some places, but I guess it's a cool enough gym to have.
To be honest,
I'm still of the thinking that even when I become a trillionaire, I would like to actually still go to a gym. I'm not really the biggest fan of home gyms, I'm not gonna lie. I still like the idea, or I still like going physically to a place, you know what I mean? Having to get up in the morning, walk to the gym, commute to the gym, whatever. I still enjoy that whole thing. I think that's actually part of the fun of going. I think having it at home, I don't think I'd be as committed or as disciplined as I am going all the time now to an actual gym, you know what I mean? I actually do think I prefer that instead of actually you know, just having one in your garage or whatever. I think so. Maybe I'm saying this now, it's because, you know, famous last words, but I think I truly do think I believe that's better. Also, having that picture up there at the top is really weird, isn't it? I know it's his home gym anyway. It's his house. Is it his home gym or is it just a gym that he has that other people use? But that picture's a bit weird to have there on the wall, isn't it, like that of yourself? But hey, I guess you need some motivation. But the equipment looks pretty decent enough, I guess. Probably too much equipment for me. I probably just need a squat rack and somewhere to do some pull-ups and shit, and maybe a place to run. But yeah, I guess if you want a regular gym, then probably it's something that you go for. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jimmy even looks maxing. Yeah, he definitely is. He definitely is. Next clip, let's go on this one. Neon shows Tracy Cortez a picture of Gorlock and she chokes on her food. Let's see this one, and then we'll move into some.
Me, you, and Gorlock. That we're gonna do it with. It's my friend.
Who's Gorlock?
Huh?
Who's Gorlock?
Good friend of mine. We go way back. I'm gonna show you a picture right now.
I wonder if people believe that I'm here right now, like, or wondering like, what the fuck is Tracy doing now? Like the most random person, me.
All right. So this is her. Me and her go way back. We're gonna do a mukbang.
I would have loved to partake.
You'd love to partake, you said? Nah, no, you're laughing that hard, Tracy. What the fuck?
Oh, choke.
You're gonna choke off of a picture?
Gorlock, bro. Big up Gorlock, though. Big up Gorlock. Big up Gorlock. Big up Gorlock. Next clip, we've got Neons turned on TTS during UFC call. Yeah, this is a good one. Let's hear what let's see what the TTS said when she was on stream. I bet they were really kind and very polite. Let's see what the TTS said of this lady.
Tracy Panty just tipped $1
On God, Neon got hard when your was on him. You want to and he wants to wrestle naked.
That's what I'm saying. I'm so sorry, Tracy.
He wants to wrestle naked. It's hilarious.
I don't know, just tipped $1. Tracy, you so fine, and I will suck the milk out of your
No! No. I know. I'm so sorry.
The fuck is you laughing?
The
fuck?
No, don't beat my ass.
Oh, that's brilliant. Anyway, that's it, right? That's it. Okay, cool. Let's move on. Can I play this clip quickly, right? This is an amazing clip, right? So this clip features Elliot Wilson and Cameron. So some of you don't know about the drama, but basically Elliot Wilson was hating on Cameron, basically saying that all these celebrities are taking over the hip hop interview space, moaning, crying, bitching, and complaining. He then obviously walked back some of his criticism about Cameron, and they eventually squashed it. So Elliot Wilson was invited to Cameron's show, which is this show here called what's it called? It's a debate show. Anyway, long story short, Elliot Wilson was saying some bad things about Cameron. They went back and forth a little bit over the internet. Elliot Wilson gets invited on Cameron's show to kind of piece it up and shit. He gets on the show and he apologizes, right? So he goes into a little apology, soliloquy. So listen to Elliot Wilson trying to apologize to Cameron and basically explain why he said what he said, and then listen to what Cameron says in response to Elliot Wilson saying what he said, right? Please listen to this whole thing because I feel like this is one of the best exchanges I've ever seen in my entire life. This is why I love Cameron. This is why he's my GOAT. Please listen to this exchange.
So I gotta set it up that way. This could be some presidential for you then for the next 4 years, man.
See, I got the little buttons,
I'm rooting for you.
Back to character. So, starting with the first interview, Elliot, you had with Rory and Mout. So I do want to clarify, you did later go on a show and say that you respect the work that has been put in, but your comments do start from somewhere, and you are valid to have your own opinion, so might as well talk about it now. So, Elliot, you said, quote, everybody's media, Summer Walker is media, Cameron is running around like he is Stephen A. Smith. This is the time that I really want you to clarify that statement with him listening, of course, and explain how you feel about artists, athletes, and entertainers turning into media.
Well, I was embarrassed by my appearance on the Rory Mal thing. I think that caught me in a vulnerable moment where,
the vulnerable moment was that he was clearly sounded drunk. He clearly sounded like he'd been up all night drinking, burying his fucking sorrows in the booze. And then he got on the pod and started complaining and hating. That's what it probably sounded like. But listen to him kind of cop please. And then please listen to Cameron's response to him basically saying sorry. Please listen to his response. It's so fucking goated.
Being somebody that's been in hip hop media, been in media since the early 90s, like you said, seeing all the changes of like so much more streamers are now taking up the marketplace. So many athletes or artists are now in media. It's a little tough now for traditional journalists. So I think my frustration came out and I targeted Cam, and that wasn't fair. I was wrong for that. And now when I really look at it, Cam should walk around like he's Stephen A. Smith because he's building a sports empire on his own terms, right? He put his own money up. Mace put money up. They've done things the right way. They've empowered others, Michael Irvin, Mark Jackson, to even RIP OJ, and especially you, Treasure, like putting you on like a real journalist. So if you look at the way it has been moving out here, you set the standard of how you should move out here.
Okay.
But sometimes me as a traditional journalist, I get frustrated. And I just think I was a little bit out of pocket there, and I apologize. And that really wasn't where I was really coming from. I was more so pointing out the challenges that today's journalists face in this marketplace, where so much is like
he apologized,
fame and celebrity, fueled. People want to be famous before they want to be true journalists.
Here's Cameron's response.
Okay. Cam, how do you feel about Elliot's statement? Because, the argument can be you're not running around like Stephen A. Smith. You're running around like Cam because that's who you are. So how do you feel about that? And then how do you feel about artists, athletes, and entertainers turning into media?
Listen to supply.
First, when I'm looking at Elliot now, it's like, I didn't know your face looked like pepper jack turkey. Like,
I love Cameron. He spilled his heart out. He apologized. He walked back everything he said. He copped the entire pleas. And the first thing he said to him after the apology, I didn't know your face looked like pepper jack turkey. One more time.
Media.
Right. First, when I'm looking at Elliot now, it's like, I didn't know your face looked like pepper jack turkey. Like, that's what you look, the texture of your skin looks like pepper jack turkey. Like, it look like you sweat duck sauce.
Holy shit. Only real sandwich niggas know about pepper jack turkey. Only real sandwich big back motherfuckers know about pepper jack turkey in a sandwich. What a legend.
You look like a sloppy sandwich in the face. Pause, man. My bad. I didn't know. I never really looked at you like that. But as far as
my bad. You look like a sloppy sandwich in the face. Oh my god. Anyway, that's all I wanted to play. That's fucking brilliant fucking clapback. A brilliant reply. He pours out his heart. He says, I'm sorry. You look like a pepper jack turkey. Fuck Elliot Wilson anyway. Fuck Elliot Wilson. Long live Cameron. Cool. Podcast cringe time. New video from Podcast Cringe. Joe Rogan's delusions are out of control. Big up Bloodclot Podcast Cringe. Let's see what Podcast Cringe is talking about today. Featuring Burt Kreischer, of course. Featuring Burt Kreischer. We know how much the big fucking PC hates Burt Kreischer, innit? Let's see what he's got to say about Burt. Let's see.
Yeah, Van Wilder, based on Burt Kreischer.
Isn't that nuts?
That's so crazy.
Isn't that nuts? Yeah. It's literally a movie based on Burt. It really is.
Yeah.
Like they wrote a story about it for Rolling Stone magazine.
The original title was The Interruption.
It reminds me of me.
Ooh. I'm not gonna lie, that didn't sound like he was being nice. It almost sounded like, can you believe they made a movie about that guy? Like, I don't think he was being complimentary. Am I bugging out? I don't think Joe was being complimentary there. I think he was being a little bit like, can you believe it? They made a movie about Burt.
A movie based on Burt. It really is.
Yeah.
Like they wrote a
You know what's funny, Brendan Mullery? I think he might be. No, I don't agree. I don't think he's done the same with Burt. I think he might be done with Burt more than he's done with Brendan. I think he probably likes Brendan more than he likes Burt. He probably still has a soft spot for Brendan more than Burt. Because Brendan also, you know, he can shut the fuck up. He knows to kiss the ring. But Jesus Christ, man, this doesn't sound very nice. It sounds like Rogan has definitely gone past the point of like liking Burt anymore.
Yeah, Van Wilder, based on Burt Kreischer.
Isn't that nuts?
That's so crazy.
Isn't that nuts? Yeah. It's literally a movie based on Burt. It really is.
Yeah.
Like they wrote a story about it for Rolling Stone magazine.
The original title was The Interruption.
It reminds me of me.
Secret time.
You guys have such good birds.
Come on, guys, we're barely 30 seconds into this video and Burt Kreischer's already catching strays. But seriously, can someone check in on Burt to make sure he's okay? You just know he's sitting at home watching this going red in the face as his blood pressure goes through the roof.
Exactly.
There's got to be a clip out there of you not interrupting.
No.
Fine. Look that up.
I'm not interrupting. I'm having a fucking conversation.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
That's how conversations fucking work.
Agreed.
Believe it or not, Burt's actually the hero of this video. Yep, you heard me right. There will be a point in this video where you think to yourselves, you know what, even though Burt's a delusional, obese, alcoholic, bad father with zero self-awareness and shit for brains, you have to admit that he is, well, we'll get to that, because in one of the few gifts of irony put forward by the universe, Bert Kreischer is the one person who actually proves Joe Rogan has been telling a big lie.
Really?
It's like one of those massive math equations where there's all this shit on the board that only 5 people in the universe can understand, but amidst the ugliness of it all, the solution that comes out of it is so eloquent and beautiful that it actually makes you think, if only Bert was here, you know, just to walk in and tell us all the machine story again. So
I love how much he hates Bert. I love how much podcast cringe hates Bert, man. He fucking hates him so much. I love it.
Stick around because I'm going to explain all of this in detail, and we'll also look at Bill Burr's comments about the LA wildfires, because he basically roasted people like Rogan who live their lives online and then pretend to be experts about shit they have no idea about. At this point, I really don't see how Rogan would ever have Bill Burr back on JRE.
It's needed though, man. It's needed. Like, he needs to have more people like he doesn't do this a lot or often anymore. Maybe because in his old age, he feels like, why would I bother having people on the show who disagree with me that strongly? I'd rather have people on the show that disagree with me and shit. At that sort of age, you're probably tired of having back and forths. But I think the show would be far better if he did have more comedians on, especially who he did maybe politically disagree with, or maybe had a different view on the world with. It would make for a far better conversation. Really, really interesting. I'd honestly believe that. But he doesn't want to do that, so we're at where we're at. It would even be better if he had more comedians on there who didn't need him, you know? Comedians who maybe had carved their own path, made their own way in comedy. Maybe that would be also a better conversation to have about the business of stand-up, because they approach it from a completely different way than all these friends who basically just sucked him off to get famous. I think that'd be a far better show, but it seems like he doesn't really want to do that anymore. He kind of steers away from it. But I really want him to interview more people that he's like, especially like what I deem to be like liberal stand-up comedians. This one guy comes to mind. I forgot his name. White dude, short. I think he directs his own specials too. He's way more left-leaning than Joe Rogan is, but he's also very intelligent, speaks very well. I think he'd be a great guest on Joe Rogan. I'm fucking forgetting his name now. It's kind of not coming to me at the moment. I think he might have done something Eric Griffin, but it'll come to me later on and I'll remember it. But I think he'd be a great guest on Jerry.
But we'll get to that a bit later, because if you hadn't noticed, Protect Our Parks 14 just dropped less than 2 months after episode 13, yet still no Sober October.
Yeah.
And we have Ari Shaffir to thank for that, because his new Netflix comedy special, America's Sweetheart, dropped the same day they aired the podcast. I haven't seen it yet, but depending on how it goes, I might review it over on my Patreon.
According to the Reddit, I've seen the Reddit people on r/standup, and they're saying it's really good. A lot of people on Reddit are saying that it's annoying how good it is, because Ari is such a cunt, and he's so unlikable on pods and stuff that he's done. But people are saying that if you kind of separate how unlikable he is and just watch it as a stand-up special, it's actually really good. A lot of people have said that. A lot of people have said that on that stand-up Reddit, so I'm definitely going to check it out.
So check out the link in the description below if you're interested. And true to form, this unnecessarily long episode of JRE was full of the same shit we've become accustomed to. Haters of this channel will tell you that it's just 4 comedians at the top of their games shooting the shit at the studio just like they would in the Mothership green room. But the truth is more like Rogan trying to be funny with his buddies who are forced to laugh at his shitty impressions while their jokes go flying over his shiny head.
Doing a New York thing. I'm doing a New York thing that I'm doing to the Jew. When I talk like this is a whiny liberal. It's fucking climate change. Wake up. I went to John Gotti's turkey thing and they were out of turkeys by 12:30.
Bad publicity.
12:30. Where's my fucking turkey, you dago bastard?
All right, you got off the Jews.
Imagine how imagine what he's like when he's drinking. Then he's already got this personality where he's like a little bit of he's an aggressive comedian. Like, he keeps like shouting his jokes so that he get them. Imagine what he's like when he's drinking. He must be pretty unbearable, man. It must get very uncomfortable very quickly when he starts screaming and starts getting really hyped and really excited.
Now you're going with those guineas.
You son of a bitch!
It's all peshy. Think about
Where's
it.
my fucking turkey. We got you. You gotta be careful about China. China wants to steal your data.
They could come
We
in
gotta
here.
get rid of the TikTok. The TikTok is stealing your data. What are you, some kind of communist? Ori, whose team are you on?
What are these impressions?
Rogan just keeps going until he gets that laugh, huh? He wins with sheer determination.
Wow, so this is where Brendan gets it from, innit? This is where Brendan gets it from. Now I'm doing the science. This is where Brendan gets his humor from. This relentless, like, repeating yourself humor. Where he just repeats the joke, repeats it in a more excited way, in a louder way, so that you go laugh, finally. It kind of just breaks you down until the point where you just, like, politely laugh so you can move on. Damn.
But seriously, those fake laughs are fucking diabolical. It reminds me of those beauty pageants where the contestants have to answer tough questions about world peace and global politics, and everybody nods and smiles while they sit there waiting for the bikini segment to start. It's almost like these guys are just clocking in for a shift at the factory, except they get to drink beer and whiskey and smoke cigars around a table while they sniff each other's farts. I will say though, compared to the last Sober October crew episode from January last year...
It is fun though, let's be honest, because I've listened to I think I'm up to like hour 3 on Save Our Parks. I haven't finished the whole thing. But it is a fun listen. You don't want to turn it off. It's not something you want to like skip past. Rogan's annoying on it, obviously, but I think Shane, Ari, and Mark, and you know, they add enough to kind of make you listen. It's a decent episode. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably the only thing you should probably listen to on JRE without even thinking about it. Obviously, if there's a guest on there that you like, watch it. But I think everything else on JRE you can probably skip. But Save Our Parks is pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie. It is actually decent. I'll listen to it in the background. And I didn't mind it, to be honest.
Where they all dressed up in suits and sat around patting each other on the back while showing off their $100,000 watches, Protect Our Parks is a lot more relatable. And thank God for Mark Normand.
Yeah.
That guy has some serious balls on him. I feel like I say this every time I cover an episode of Protect Our Parks. At some point, someone's got to sit him down and explain to him that Joe Rogan is a tall and funny comedian with violent DNA in his blood.
I was sick on stage one time, and I was doing a show, and it was coming up, and I had to swallow it. Oh no!
Whoa!
Yeah, I was like, oh no, because I knew I really should be at home in bed, but I like was already out.
What happened? Were you listening to your act?
I did the I did the second.
It kind of makes him uncomfortable a little bit, isn't it? He's so not used to getting roused or getting like. It actually makes him physically uncomfortable, but he loves through it. Don't get me wrong. But it does kind of shake his soul. Let's watch that one more time. Oh, big up Mark Normand, man. He's so fucking quick.
Funny comedian with violent DNA in his blood.
I was sick on stage one time, and I was doing a show, and it was coming up, and I had to swallow it. Oh no!
Whoa!
Yeah, I was like, oh no, because I knew I really should be at home in bed, but I like was already out.
What happened? Were you listening to your act?
I did the I did the second. I did the second set. And
wow, he actually gagged him.
I did the second. I did the second set, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna puke.
You tried to save me from Joey Rogies, but there's
tried.
nothing we
you
can
didn't even
do.
notice I was up there. It was like a chihuahua.
He's a problem. Dude.
He didn't notice I was up. He's like a chihuahua.
Yeah, you got some real beef on you.
Well, that was a moment where I had to show Shane what the f is up.
Whoa! Yeah. There was some alpha going on.
He got a little crazy with the football stuff.
Yeah, but there was no... I was 100% aware what was going to happen.
You thought you could take
Joe?
him. Yeah, for a second. You're like, I got this guy.
Hold on a
He's
second.
4'8".
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Fucking hell. Holy shit. Holy shit. Mark Normand for the fucking win.
We've had this conversation, I think, every Protect Our Party.
There are two things we know Rogan doesn't want to hear. The first is he's a fucking hack comedian, and the second one is how short he is. Now, I'm going to prove to you guys that Rogan's funny in a second, but I can also prove that he is not short. This is a photo of Joe standing next to one of his master oligarchs. Zuck is listed at 5'7".
Master oligarchs. Come on, man. Come on.
Whereas Rogan is listed at 5'8". So clearly you can see... oh, shit, hang on. All right, I fucked this up. Let's move on to Joe Rogan being funny.
Well, it's also about ratings, right? So
It
with
is, but
CNN,
it's
you
not.
gotta.
Yeah, but it's not because I don't think about ratings.
No, you don't. I'm saying.
but that's why I have them. Like, if you sit around thinking about the ratings, do you think you would be on?
No. What do you mean?
You be on this show right now.
Imagine if I was like saying things.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, how'd that come across? Can we do that again? Let me do that again.
You didn't even get it.
Yeah,
You didn't even catch it.
Oh, you fucker. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, you motherfucker.
The one time Joe says something that's actually funny and Brian Callen doesn't get the joke. Seriously, what are we doing here, B? By the way, on the topic of Brian Callen, has somebody checked in on our boy Brendan Schaub? Brian did a few nights at the Mothership last week, which were all sold out, and he actually taped it for his upcoming special. For those of you who don't know, Bupper's actually banned from Rogan's club for obvious reasons, which led to his untimely retirement from comedy around this time last year.
From what I know, he's not banned. From what Brendan said, if we believe what Brendan said on that episode of when he was on Skankfest, when he went to Skankfest, sorry, and they recorded an episode of The Fire and the Kid with with the guys from Legion of Skanks. He said on that show that Rogan said to him that he didn't say that on that show. On that show, he lied and said that he told Rogan he doesn't want to repeat the same mistakes he made at the Comedy Store. But reading between the lines, most likely Rogan told him, you can't just play here automatically. I want to change how I'm approaching comedy and not just have my friends playing who are just shit. I want to start this from scratch. So I think he offered Brendan to start from the bottom and work his way up. But Brendan kind of probably felt a bit a little bit jilted by that, or jolted, or kind of fucked over by it. Which I think he has a right to, because they let him perform at the Comedy Store when he was shit. Why not let him perform at the Mothership? Makes no sense really if you think about it. But they said that, and that's why he didn't want to do it, and hence he ended up quitting. But he's not technically banned. He just didn't want to go and start again from scratch. That's what I think happened.
So you can understand why Brian's recent success might tip him over the edge. The last I heard was that Brian's comedy career drives him nuts, so he can't be in a good state at the moment. I'm sure he'll be salty as fuck on the Fight Companion this weekend, so stay tuned for that. And speaking of the comedy Mothership, even though Rogan's stand-up comedy is nothing more than a shitty Sam Kinison impression, he's true to...
I don't think the Fight Companion's happening this weekend, is it? I think the Fight Companion is another one. I don't think they're doing one this weekend. I don't think so. Because Rogan's commentating on that one, isn't it? I don't think they're doing one this weekend.
Talents lie in his ability to use money he earned from his podcast to build himself a comedy club. You may recall a video I made not too long ago about Joe Rogan and Bert Kreischer being the kings of comedy, where I compared Bert's fully loaded festival tours with Rogan's new comedy club. Well, the whole idea of festivals exploiting comedians came up in this episode of Protect Our Parks, and Ari explained how Bert got the idea to start his festivals in the first place.
We were talking about the other day. We were talking about festivals.
Yeah.
These festivals, they'll sell tickets for a giant arena, and they'll take a giant chunk of all the money, and they have all these comics up, but everybody's there to see the comics. Yeah. But you are making we have employees. Well,
right.
Why do you have employees? Like, what is this? Like,
Okay,
what is
good.
your business? Your business is like selling other people's art at a cut rate
Right.
because you get them all together because they're all here.
That led to Bert's tour.
Right.
Bert's fun
Right.
festival tour.
Right.
He goes, I'll just run it myself then. Cut you guys out.
Okay, so here's the...
But what's the problem with Joe? Why does Joe not like festivals though? I guess they just want all the money for themselves, isn't it? The festivals are taking a risk by booking all these people to play at one point, because it's still going to be a lot of money to book all these guys. But I guess that's what happens. Maybe they don't get booked. Maybe they want to split off the door. These guys are so greedy, innit? Maybe that's what's happening. Because in another world, in the DJ world, which I'm familiar with, if you put together a festival, you book the DJ, so you hire them, so you book whatever their rate is, whatever their rate is to book them, you book the DJs. And the whole allure of a festival for a customer is that you get to see a lot more people for less money. So you get to see hundreds of DJs perform potentially for a fraction of the price. For the performer, it's a good chance because you get to play in front of a captive audience, and you also maybe get the opportunity to maybe play in front of different people who maybe want to be your fans later in the future. You might also get to play in front of agents, collaborators, whatever it may be. And it's also just a good time, good place to kind of get your face about. So it kind of works for both parties. It works for the customers, it works for the talent, and it works for the event organizers. But I guess in this case, they're arguing that they would want what? A cut of the door, a cut of the gate, a cut of the entry prices as well, on top of being paid for as being talent, on top of being hired. Sounds incredibly greedy, to be fair. Like, why would an agent do that? Why would a festival agree to that though? If they're taking the risk of hiring a space, getting insurance, hiring the equipment, paying the staff to run the event by posting on social media and all that malarkey, printing out posters, blah 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 blah, and then you also want a cut of the door and a gate. Sounds kind of greedy to me, but maybe they'll explain it here better.
The thing, and you might have to stick with me for a minute here. Rogan's big lie is that the comedy Mothership and Kill Tony are the center of the comedy universe. Yep, his actual words, I'm not exaggerating.
There's a lot of posers, but that's all people that just like the idea of them being the one who decides what's real and what's not real.
Yeah.
Just goofs. You're always going to have that. There's a lot of that they hated us when we came here. But really what they didn't like is that you couldn't just around anymore. The real killers were here now.
So this is like a new hub.
What?
Oh, it's the hub of the world for comedy.
I love this confidence, man. I love this confidence. I love how he talks about these things with such certainty. You can't fuck around and the real killers are here. What? Why is he talking about comedy in such a way? Why does it sound like a blood sport? Why does it sound like a fucking end games? What happened to the humor and the fun and the jokes and the silly goose times? Now the real killers are here. No wonder now this explains a lot of why Tony Hinchcliffe is the way he is. We think of Tony Hinchcliffe and just look at him in isolation. We look at him in a silo. But now we can see why Tony Hinchcliffe is the way he is. Because he hangs around with Rogan a lot. And Rogan speaks like this about comedy. Killer, I'm a wolf. I'm an animal. It's like, all right.
Comedy. The comedy Mothership is the hub of comedy in the world.
That's wild.
Yeah. And it just opened 2 years ago.
Okay, so let me ask you guys a question. If the comedy Mothership is the comedy hub of the world, how many of Rogan's comedians are in the top 10 list of biggest comedy tours? This is the top 10 from 2023.
Good
Joe
point.
Coy, Adam Sandler, Sebastian Maniscalco, Taylor Tomlinson, Peter Kay, Nate Bargatze, Bill Burr, Bert Kreischer, Dave Chappelle, and in the top spot, Kevin Hart. What about last year then? Again, Joe Coy, Adam Sandler, Jerry Seinfeld, Trevor Noah, Bert Kreischer, Sebastian Maniscalco, Cat Williams, Gabriel Iglesias, Matt Rice, and Nate Bargatze. You've probably guessed it already, but the only Rogan comedian on either of those lists is Bert Kreischer.
I gotta figure it out.
Let me tell you,
Can Brian figure it out at 55?
The worst comedian the worst comedian out of Rogan's crew is actually the most successful one. Isn't that crazy? The worst one in his crew is actually the one who's the most successful one when it comes to tickets and all that sort of shit. I think the other guy, to be fair though, I think everyone else in Rogan's circle are probably way richer from podcasting. Most likely. They probably make a ton of money from just podcasting and ads and all that sort of shit. But it is mad, isn't it, that Bert Kreischer, the guy that takes off his shirt, the guy that has no jokes, the guy that keeps repeating the fucking machine story, is actually the most popular one in Rogan's crew. Fucking insane.
Yeah, of course I'm 50. I'm 50.
Yes,
Where's the whiskey?
That's not too late.
Let me tell you.
How are you done already?
Yeah, I'm quick.
Holy shit.
I'm on steroids. Listen, here's the deal. Here's the deal.
You are not on steroids.
I'm on juice,
How do you feel
I
after
got my gear.
I want to talk about your running gear.
Amazing.
Now.
Hold on, I'm not done talking
Yeah.
about promos.
I want to hear this.
Let me tell you that you want to know.
Hold on. Get a fucking notepad out.
Yeah, I should.
You want to know
This is disrespect.
The real.
I need a notepad too.
The real game changer is.
You could tell Brian's feeling uncomfortable in this conversation because Bert Kreischer and Brendan are clearly lit. Like, Brendan's definitely drunk. I just noticed it now, by the way. I just noticed it right now. I can tell the energy. You can tell Brian's a bit uncomfortable because those guys are clearly buzzed and he's not. And they're like having their little thing and he's trying to keep up, you know what I mean?
Is we do Sober October the first year.
Yeah. Gay.
And
Gay.
and And so and it did really well. And I noticed that it moved tickets for the rest of the tour. All of a sudden, everything cleaned up and everything out of the show. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. So I said to Joe and Tom and Ari, I said, hey, maybe we should next year, instead of a challenge, let's do hip hop dance. We'll each learn a hip hop dance. And then we'll learn it throughout the month. We'll practice. You burn calories.
Joe's not entertaining that.
You have no idea how quick Joe shot it down.
No, I do.
Like, I'm not doing that.
No, I do.
I'm not doing that.
He's out of my comfort zone.
I'm not doing that.
I
I'm
can't
definitely not
control
doing
it.
that. I actually won't do Sober October if that's what you're doing. I'm not doing that.
So, like we've been saying for years now, the Joe Rogan Experience is the real MVP in all of this, not the comedy mothership. And in a perfect case of irony, Bert Kreischer, the most annoying comedian on the planet, is actually proof that Rogan's podcast is more powerful than his comedy club. The thing that Rogan refuses to accept is that the guys he's pushing out to the world on his show are not necessarily the funniest guys around. Sure, some of them are decent, like Shane Gillis and Mark Normand, for example, but those guys were on their way up anyway. The bottom line is that when you have such a big audience, it's not hard to convert that into ticket sales. Take a look at Bert's actual numbers from last year. He made $30 million in gross sales from 388,000 ticket sales. That might sound like a lot, but when you look at the number in the context of his podcast audience, as well as the reach of Rogan's podcast over the years that Bert's been going on there, it's...
Yo, big up Sodaseas.
Joe didn't do it because hip-hop is a black thing.
That's brilliant. That's so brilliant. Big up Sodaseas. That's fucking brilliant.
Actually a tiny fraction. Not to mention the fact that Bert brings a bunch of comedians with big followings with him on tour as well. And so what Bert has managed to do is convert Rogan's comedy podcast ecosystem into ticket sales. Nobody else on that top 10 list needs Rogan. Sure, some of them have been on his show and they're friends with Joe, but none of them need him. Bert's the only one that does. And that's Rogan's big lie. In almost every single podcast in the last couple of months, he's been going on and on about how amazing his club is, that it's sold out every night, he needs to expand, there aren't enough comics to meet the demand, he needs more venues, etc., etc. Now, all of that might be true, but the real truth is all of that comes from JRE. Everything always goes back to Joe's podcast, even Kill Tony.
You guys gonna go? You going to Kill Tony tonight?
I don't really get the point he's trying to make here. But don't we all know that anyway? Don't we know that the podcast is the most important thing, and that leads into all the other things? Without JRE, the comic club doesn't exist. I don't really get what podcast really trying to say here. Am I missing the point? I don't really understand why this is a point. We all know that, no? No one's under any illusions that the JRE isn't the main contributing factor to most of the success of everything he does. Like, every business he's done has kind of spawned off of JRE. That's why he keeps doing it. No?
Yeah.
I don't think I am. Who's the guest on Kill Tony tonight?
I think we are. Protect our
I
players.
did the arena with Kill Tony on New Year's.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. He sold out 2 nights.
Twice in a row.
Yeah. 2 nights in a row.
2 years
the
in
arena.
a row of doing that.
2 years in a row, 2 nights in a row at the arena. Mad packed with crazy fans. Dice Clay performed. It was amazing.
Wow.
The fucking Kill Tony experience is so different. It's such a fun
It's
thing.
a new show every time.
It's a new show every time, and
the
the fans are so rabid. They're so happy to be there. It's fucking incredible. You know, we could do that here. We could have Austin like that all the time.
Keep expanding.
I need to buy a theater. I'm gonna buy a theater.
You
out
gonna
here.
do it?
Do
Yeah,
it.
I think that's the next move. I think the next move is buy a big place where big names can come in for the weekends. You know, and just give them a sweet deal. Give them a deal the same way at the Mothership. Like, give them most of the money.
How much would a theater, like, what's that price?
It's a lot of money, Ari. If you have a theater that can entice, like, big name people to come in.
That's such a good setup, though, isn't it? To have, like, this popping podcast that now allows you to basically buy a comedy club so you can perform there as much as you want. And now you're in the business of buying theatre so you can have bigger comics, you know, the level maybe above the comedy mothership to come down as well and do stuff. Like the Sebastian Maniscalcos and all those type of people. Must be so much fun. That's something that I'm gonna definitely do. When I get $1 bazillion, it's not fucking buy a crazy mansion. I'm just gonna get my own club and just start booking myself. Fuck it, you know? Like he's made the cheat code. That is a cheat code. Become famous in your niche, buy your comedy club, and by default make your own career. You know, basically give yourself a career. you know, by force. Even if you're not good, just give yourself one.
Yeah.
You know, because you can only get such a high name to do a 250-seat room unless it's a weekday.
Joe Rogan could open a fucking cafe and there would be a line out the door every single day. He could open a hairdresser and, okay, all right, maybe not a hairdresser, but hopefully you see my point. When you have tens of millions of viewers tuning into your show every week, almost everything you do will turn to gold. It's just basic math. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think Rogan deserves everything he's got. He had a vision for what he wanted his podcast to be 15 years ago, and he executed it flawlessly, even executing Red Band along the way. And it's no different to mainstream media. He made most of his money from ad revenue. He just cut out the middlemen and went directly to the viewer, while downsizing the production costs so he didn't have to share the money with anyone. Sure, he talks a lot of shit, but that's to be expected when you're recording yourself talking for dozens of hours a week. I just think it's funny how Rogan thinks that the Mothership is successful because of all the comedy killers he brought to Austin with him, and how everybody was on notice once they rocked up because they knew they couldn't fuck around anymore. The real killers were here now. That's some A-grade cringe right there.
It's partly true, though. This is why I disagree with podcast cringe. It is partly true, though, isn't it? Yes, the comedy club would have been successful just because it's attached to Rogan, but it also has to be good. And he's constantly booking the best people. They're bringing their own crowd down there. It's become a bit of an attraction. So it's all of those elements add to why it's successful. I don't think it's successful just because he opened it. It's also successful because it's clearly run well. And he's also done a good thing in terms of, like, he's not running the club. He has a manager that runs the club. There's a bar manager. There's a club manager. There's a booker that runs it. Obviously, he still oversees stuff, but it seems like he lets the people who can run the club, and they run it like a fucking navy. And then he just collects the money, or, you know, stands in front of the club or stands on the stage and shit. So the operational side of things is done pretty well for what it sounds like. So yeah, I don't know. I get the point he's making, but I think there has to be credit given to the execution. The execution is still quite good. I think so. Big up Brian Laura. AZ, naive as always. It's sold out weeks in advance. People buy tickets without knowing who's going to be there. But yeah, that's because of but that's what I'm saying though. Yes, that's because of Rogan, but it's also only sold out continually. Not like you can't exist, or you can't be successful at that level just based on celebrity alone. It also has to be good. The same thing happens with Berghain. I go to this club Berghain in Berlin. It's the same sort of thing. That place there's queues around the block for that place every weekend. But the only reason why it continues to have queues every weekend is because it's run really well. And then when people like myself go there and we speak about it and we review it, or we speak to it, you know, to our friends, and word of mouth and shit goes around, people want to continue going there. But if we kept going to it and it was terrible, eventually people would stop going. So yes, the name and the celebrity of it does draw people, but let's not be you're saying I'm naive, but let's not also be naive. Come on. If it wasn't good, people wouldn't go. That's what I'm trying to say. Unless maybe, because how long has it open? It's been open like 2 years, isn't it? I guess the real test is if maybe the 5 to 10 year mark or something, right? When the kind of celebrity thing runs out. Maybe we'll see what the real pull of the comedy Mothership is. But I still think a lot of it is due to it being an actual good club. I think so anyway. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, even Joe himself acknowledges how powerful his podcast really is.
I think the strangest thing that I was ever a part of was when you were getting kicked out of your own show because you wouldn't do a special on Comedy Central.
That's gold.
Isn't that wild?
That was the wildest thing to be a part of, because you were freaking out. You were explaining to me on the phone. You wanted to get money to pay the staff. You were like, I'm going to pay everybody. I'm going to do it out of my own pocket. They wanted to punish him because he didn't want to do a special on Comedy Central because he got a Netflix deal. And this is when Netflix was popping off.
And Comedy Central was about to
and
be
his
what it is
show
now.
was one of the most successful shows on Comedy Central.
Great show.
Yeah, This Is Not Happening was one of the big shows. It had billboards on Sunset.
Yep.
It's so wild that you kicked off your own show.
Yeah.
They're like, he was going to pay the entire staff. He was going to go into debt to pay the entire staff because he knew that they were getting f***ed. They had all signed off for that. So, you know, if you're a cameraman or if you're whoever the people that are working behind the scenes.
They blackmailed me. They go, either sign with us or these people all be out of work with 2 weeks to go. Good luck paying their rent. How do you want to play it? And I'm like, wow.
They said it that way?
Yeah.
You were within your rights and your contract to do that special on Netflix.
Yeah.
It was in his...
I love how he shares these like Lionheart, my friends are so amazing stories, because it seems like some friends like Brendan just don't listen to this. This is the sort of stuff that always amazes me. He takes a lot of credit in his friends being a certain way, acting a certain way, being noble, looking after their team, paying people well, treating people with respect. But for some reason, Brendan seems to miss this part. Like he copies everything else about Rogan, but this sort of thing about Rogan's friends and what they like to be known as to be, he seemed to completely miss this. Like just like, no, I'm not gonna do this sort of stuff. I always find that hilarious.
Contract that he could do.
I was
that.
allowed to do whatever. It was like I made one on my own. And like we want it. I'm like,
Imagine
okay.
a network
Crazy.
wanting an Ari Shaffir special.
But it was one of
America's
the
sweetheart.
last nails in the coffin for Comedy
Yeah.
Central because it was one of their best shows. You did my podcast.
I
we
should have
talked
been more
about it.
public about it. I could have stopped it if I went on here and be like, hey, Viacom is
I
blackmailing
wasn't
me.
that big back then. It wouldn't have done it. It wouldn't have done it back then. It wouldn't have had the impact that it would have. If you did it today, they'd be.
Yo, big up a disease.
Rogan said theaters accumulate different comedian talent to sell an event or festival but profit off their art, which is exactly what he's planning to do by buying a theater.
Exactly. Honestly, I don't understand these complaints. Exactly. Big up a disease. Exactly. I don't understand these complaints about festivals. It sounds like to me, he's just annoyed he doesn't have his own festival. Or he's just like, it looks like with comedians, they just want to get as much of the money directly to them as possible. They don't like middlemen, which I think is good for the business. Like they've created a business where a lot of the money is made by them and they are the ones that keep the money. They don't have to divvy out to everybody else. Like they have managers and that's it. Sometimes they have managers that double up as agents, but that's basically it. And I don't think even they have agents. I think a lot of the stuff is inbound. So it's just a manager dealing with all the inbound requests for you. So they get to keep a lot of it. So I'm thinking to myself like, what's your problem with festivals? If they're going out of their way to book the talent, take the risk in hiring the venue and shit, like, why are you annoyed that they're keeping all the gate money? Like, it doesn't, that's like what the agreement is, isn't it? If you want to keep the gate money, make your own festival. But making your own festival is very, very expensive. I remember reading an article, I talk about it all the time on Taz, where they said most music festivals don't make money. They mostly break even or sometimes lose money. Most of the time people do music festivals is for the look. It's for other things. You're doing it to get sponsorship or ads. You're doing it to bolster your own profile, maybe to get a job somewhere. Like people do festivals and all that sort of thing for other reasons apart from money, because you can just imagine how much it will cost and run, the headache of running it and shit. So he's talking a big game about all this shit. But it's like, would you run a festival? Would he put on a fucking comedy Mothership festival? I don't think he would. It'd probably cost an arm and a leg. And what he wants to do with the theater sounds exactly what they're doing with the festivals anyway. It's like, yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But again, like it's just interesting to see because Rogan's what? Nearly $500 million up. $500 million up and he still wants all the money. This is basically how you be rich, innit? There's never an end to how much you want. Like you just want all of it. It's like, bloody, how much more do you want, bro? Like you got all of it. You completed all the levels. He still wants the festival money. Like give me it all.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it would kill their career. It would kill the network.
So obviously Rogan knows how powerful he is and how much influence he has over the comedy industry these days. If it wasn't for JRE, most people wouldn't know who the fuck half these guys are. I mean, we saw how nobody knew who Tony Hinchcliffe was outside of the comedy circle jerk when all that Puerto Rico shit went down. But there is one famous comedian that seems to be causing trouble lately. Bill Burr's been getting in on the Luigi Mangione situation and the LA fires as well. If you guys haven't seen it yet, check out the clip of him from the Jimmy Kimmel show where he goes off script and starts saying the wildest shit about Luigi catching Kimmel off guard. He also mentioned the wildfires earlier this week on his podcast, but first, to give you some context, here's Rogan's hot take on the LA fires.
It's hilarious that some people are saying climate change. This is climate change. This is no, this is f***ing arson. You have 100,000 losers that are just camping on your street. What?
Jesus Christ. Rogan referring to homeless people as losers, you know. I love it. I love it. Rogan referring to homeless people as losers. He hates homeless people so fucking much. Jesus fucking Christ, Rogan.
What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen when the people with the houses are in jeopardy. What do you think is going to happen when these people that are living in $50 million houses and you're camping out a block away, which is exactly what's going on over there?
And a lot of my friends back east have been checking in on how you doing. Are you all right? Are you safe? You know, and you know what that means when people check in on you and ask if you're all right, if you're safe. One, that means that they're concerned about you and your safety and they care about you. And then more importantly, they want some gossip. Like, what have you seen?
Good point. Good point.
I know there's the news reports, but you're out there. Can I get something a little more juicy so I know something that my friends don't? Because I have a friend out there. He's one canyon over, and he said he saw a crazy homeless person on a parasail shooting listen to this, shooting flames into a dog park. I think there's video on the internet. I'm not sure, but that's what he was saying. Dude, somebody said they saw a guy in a Dodge Power Wagon with a Trump hat on, throwing lit cigarettes out his cab on either side. I will say the frequency and where the fires were lit, it did start to seem like, all right, like what's going on here, man? Is this being done by somebody? And then they show somebody goes, yeah, there was a guy doing it. There was a guy that was doing it. Some guy did all of that. And then they show some crazy homeless guy in like a fucking, residential area lighting like a fucking dumpster on fire. It's like, so you're telling me that fucking homeless guy somehow went with no car, no money, somehow went to the Palisades and then out to Pasadena and then to Laurel Canyon or Runyon Canyon. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you figured out there on the internet?
Yeah, it sounds like someone's got some wires crossed there. It reminds me of when Burr was on Rogan's podcast and Joe started up with the pandemic talk about the masks, and Burr completely shut him down and basically told him to shut the fuck up. These two just...
Yo, big up Aziz.
Fuck this gnome. He thinks he had a hard life because he grew up practicing kung fu or whatever. He's been working in television since he was 20. Most of Rogan's life he's been rich. But tell me more about ice baths.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Tell me more about it. It's crazy he thinks like the ice bath things makes him like some sort of warrior, innit? It's like, oh my God, man. Guy gets into a bath with some ice cubes and think he fucking climbed Kilimanjaro. Like, allow it.
Seems so different now. Bill's just an old school comedian who loves to talk shit and poke fun at anything and everything, whereas Rogan's gone full Boomer Joe with his internet connection. Literally, the first 2 minutes of Protect Our Parks this week was Rogan ranting about politics, and it was the same with the previous episode. But hey, there's a lot going on at the moment. Make sure you go and check out my...
Yo, big up J Life 24, big up you. Big up Happy Friday, Zinger Nation. Sorry for the up and coming interruption. No, big up. Appreciate it for the membership bomb. Appreciate it. Big up JU Life 24. Appreciate you for the membership bomb. Thank you for the membership bomb. Everyone that gets gifted a membership from JU Life, make sure you say thank you to JU Life for the membership bomb. Greatly appreciated there. Thank you for the gifted members. Appreciate you, brother. You're a legend. Big up JU for life. And don't worry about the interruption. It's all good. It's all good, my jigger. Big up JU for life. So, in conclusion, this is a bit of a nothing burger episode video. I'm not gonna lie. Big up Podcast Cringe. I do like the guy, but this feels like a bit of a nothing burger video. Didn't really need to exist. I'm not gonna lie. But I understand where he's getting at. I get what he's getting at. But I think the funniest things to come from this, the most interesting part to come from this, is the fact that we've learned that Bert Kreischer is the most successful comedian, touring-wise, out of Rogan's friends. Now, to be fair, that statistic is a bit skewed. Because Rogan doesn't tour on purpose, right? Rogan doesn't tour, not because he can't sell tickets, but because he prefers to just do the podcast, right? Why tour if you can just make a bunch of money sitting down talking into a microphone? So I think if Rogan toured more, he'd probably sell more. And those other guys don't tour as much as Bert either. So the statistics are a bit skewed in that regard. But also, Bert's statistics are also skewed because a lot of his money, you guys told me in the stream chat, comes from those shows he does, but he does them with a bunch of comedians. So it's not only just him touring. So even his ranking on that list is a bit skewed. So really and truly, if you think about it, probably no comedian out of Rogan's circle really belongs in that list, because most of those people, with the exception of Bert, all tour by themselves. Bert's the only person that tours with a group of other, you know, good comedians that have their own kind of fan base and shit, which is also interesting, because Rogan would make you believe. Rogan would have you believe that all these friends are the top 250 assassin comedians out there, but really and truly, if you look at the comedians who actually sell tickets, the ones who are really popular, especially if you go on Netflix, they are not his friends, right? They're all these, like, you know, all these other people, like mainstream people who he's not really that close with or anything, who probably don't go to the clubs, who don't give a shit about the Mothership, you know? That's a really interesting thing about this whole situation. But I thought the video itself was probably, you know, whatever. But I do like podcast cringe. But I do feel like there was a bit of a stretch in some of the points that were being made there, especially about, oh, the Comedy Store is only good or is only sold out because of his celebrity. It's like, yeah and no. I don't think you could sell out that club only based on his name forever, or for as long as it has been now. I think it must be also good. It must be also good. I think so anyway. I don't think it's just based on his celebrity and his notoriety. And I think you have to give the guy credit also, because he could have easily just, you know, try to run it himself and be that kind of megalomaniac. Because for sure, if Brendan opened his own comedy club, if Brendan Schaub opened his own comedy club, you know for sure he'd run that place himself. He'd at least try to run it himself, you know? Rogan at least recognized he can't run a club, so he got people who can run it properly, and it looks like they're running it properly. Big up Peanut. You should go over the recent NJ drama. Riley's ex has been trying to get back with her. It's getting spicy. I don't know about that, brother. I have to read into it. I haven't heard about that. I have to read into it. I've kind of stopped checking Yuri and Riley drama. It was kind of getting me depressed, I'm not going to lie. But I have to check back into that and check what's going on over there. Maybe I'll have a peruse with the No Jumper Reddit tomorrow and see what I want, so I can get a handle on what's going on. But I'm not going to lie. I haven't checked Yuri's streams in so long. His kick streams. I don't know what the fuck is going on there, but I'll have a look. But thank you for letting me know, Peanuts Head. Appreciate you. Let's continue. What clip should we play here? Should we do that one? Yeah. Have you seen this clip, right? Have you seen this? Have you guys seen this? This is one of the big up Ari Shafir. One of the best interview questions I've ever heard. Asked directly at Bert Kreischer, and he had nothing to say. He gagged Bert Kreischer.
Just leave it. Just leave it, dude.
How much of your life is lived to get Joe Rogan to say, "I'm finally proud of you"?
Fucking brilliant. Yeah. We have to.
I'm fucking obsessed with it, and I really want to go bow hunting now. Except for carrying the meat out is the part that I just
leave it.
One more time.
Dude.
How much of your life is lived to get Joe Rogan to say, "I'm finally proud of you"?
It's a higher percentage than he wants to say.
Honestly, so fucking good. So fucking good. Big up Ari Shafir for laying the smackdown on fucking Bert. Absolutely brilliant. Love to fucking see it. Let's see some other clips here. Bill Burger. We saw the LFI's one. Let's talk about which one we want to see now. Let's do a little bit more of TFATK, because we didn't finish TFATK, did we? So I missed some current events from TFATK. What did I miss? Yeah, let's go through their current events that they did, and then we can continue on.
Your first order. That's tryjoymode.com/fighter for 20%.
And don't say get your dick popping though.
Yeah,
just that's the one thing I'm going to ask you not to say.
Can you read off all the ingredients in again so we can completely not order?
All right, but if you want to get,
come on, no more ads, no more ads.
Product,
please, enough.
I'm China. He sells like LED signs.
Okay.
And the way he markets it is amazing. So he's a great impressionist. But this is from a YouTuber named Conservative Vibes. I don't know much about him, but he's playing some of the videos that this Chinese guy does.
I'm proud to be black.
And I'm proud to be Donald Trump.
You know, I've been to China. Tremendous place, really. And let me tell you, folks, there is a way to spot a bad LED sign. It's so simple. Even Sleepy Joe could do it. If the light burned out so fast, cheap LEDs.
This is Tony from LC Signs. He lives out in China, and he does genius advertising for this sign company.
Hello. Goodbye. Anyway, you want to...
He's against all the woke stuff, you know, so.
I can't wait until we see Brendan copying this, by the way. You know for sure Brendan's going to copy this, isn't it? You know for sure Brendan's going to find a way to copy this Chinese man's very creative way to kind of get, you know, his LED company out there. You know he's going to copy it. You just know. You just know it's coming. You can hear, you can see his head. You can see his little fucking head rattling away. An idea for him to copy this for fucking Rain energy drink or some fucking shitty, you know it. You know he's going to copy it. You know he's going to copy it.
What's up, California? My name is Alex.
What's up, Maiden?
I'm Oliver.
I'm Brian. I'm Dylan. And together we are...
Gay as fuck. Oh. Anyway, we should make the sign for winning 14 years. Any size can be custom.
This guy's
20 days.
There's so many of them, and they're so good.
Great. Physical touch with her.
Not interested.
Anyways, there's tons of stuff that he does, and it's so funny.
like that redneck
I could watch
dude who
this guy
sells
all
cars.
day.
And he does all like Indian accents, Jamaican, like everything. He's so good.
The guys
say Jamaican. Look at how pussy Chin got there. Say Jamaican. Indian accent. You got afraid of saying black, innit? Say black accents. Come on, Chin. Don't be
Indian
scared.
accents, Jamaican, like everything. He's so good.
Chin got scared. Chin got scared. You want to say black accents? Chin got scared. Go on, say it. Say it.
It's all like Indian accents, Jamaican, like everything. He's so good.
The guys that do that crush, and he's like that kind of southern dude, hick dude who sells cars.
Oh yeah.
He's like, you trying to know who I go with? Nope, but I think you're trying to be black. We got this 2002 Dodge Ram.
You know, I'm thinking about majoring in white girls. Anyway.
Yeah, his name's Tony.
This is what the show's turned into, by the way. This is what the show's turned into. Comedians watching memes and trying to react to it. This is what the show's turned into. Not them actually making the jokes as comedians. It's them reacting to another content creator who's reacting to the video. Yeah.
Tony from LC Signs.
Tony,
together we are.
I'd like to get Tony on this podcast.
Check out, dude, that'd be
Let's
incredible,
get Tony to come fly out to Austin.
Come out here,
and put him on the fucking podcast. He's great.
Yeah,
God,
I'm sure he'd be honored to fly 20 hours to appear on The Fighter a Kid. I'm sure he'd be honored. I'm sure he'd be honored to fly fucking coach 20 hours to appear on The fucking Fighter a Kid.
I like the
Tony, do some stand up.
I like this conservative thinking guy too. He's cool. That's hilarious.
Man, can you send that to me, Chin?
Yeah, I will, definitely.
Thanks.
So these are two things I saw that was like, it's insane. Like there's two different body slams of women during road rage, and they're like days apart in different areas. One's in Ohio.
The women are hitting the men, right? And then the men are reacting.
So that's one of them. Let me show you. So that's we'll show that one first. So this is that woman.
Whose go-to's a body slam? What are you, the Undertaker?
I love how Brendan, the trained fighter, is so for people hitting you. Like usually I've noticed with most former fighters, they're very like non-confrontational, especially when they like talking to regular people about situations, because they know how far it can go and they know how fatal it can be. So they usually advise most people not to engage, walk away. But I love how Brendan's always quick to like back up any physical violence. Like, yeah, it's fine. You know what I mean? It's like, you're a fighter. You know how crazy it can get. You know the damage. You know how dangerous it can be also. But I like how he's so encouraging of like people just fighting and just doing crazy shit out on the streets. Really, really interesting, man.
But this one, I'm like,
take a look at this video of Doug Miller.
So she's the one that initiates this, stops.
Driver in the blue car slam on her brakes. Get out.
Let's go.
Yelling on Hathaway.
But she's the one that's causing this right now.
And she's attacking
She's
his
yelling
wife,
at the driver, and the guy just walks out of the passenger seat.
Nice pajama pants.
To be fair, he does well to back up his girl.
And then she's aggressive.
He does well to back up his girl.
This was Saturday morning. Then the passenger in the red car gets.
To be fair, he does want to back up his girl, but his girl's also a bit of a pussy, to be fair. I'm not sure if his girl's pregnant or something, but I think the girlfriend or the wife of Pajama Pants dude is kind of fucked up. Like, she should have got out. Like, you shouldn't let your man handle arguments with a woman. You know what I mean? You should handle the business. Because if something happens, he's going to get in big trouble being a dude for hitting this woman. Even though she initiated the contact. She should have got out and stepped. You know what I mean? She should have got out and fucking... maybe even swung first and let the guy finish, but you don't just let him to deal with an issue with a woman, because if something goes down, he could get really in big trouble. But you know, maybe I'm wrong.
It's out. He walks up to the woman and eventually turns away.
So he turns away, and then boom, that's a big smack. He smacks her back, and then this, bam.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
you can't be hitting.
Neither of these people filed any reports.
No, I bet she won't do it again. That's how this goes.
I agree.
You can't.
I love how he's talking to trolls, by the way. This is definitely a veiled threat to trolls. This is definitely a veiled threat to Unique. He's talking to trolls. This is definitely a veiled threat. This is definitely a very not so subtle threat towards trolls. That's how it goes. Fuck around and find out. Trolls, you see me. Bobby Lee, you see me in real life. I'll fuck you up. Steve will do it. I'll fuck you up. Podcast Cringe, I'll fuck you up. 2 to try, I'll fuck you up. That black guy with a weird accent, I'll fuck you up. TMOS, I'll fuck you up. That's what basically he's saying. This is a very veiled threat, a very not so subtle threat to all content creators, all commentary channels. If you do that, I'm a body slam you.
Sock a dude randomly, sucker punch him in the face and not expect repercussions.
You have to expect consequences for your actions.
I agree.
That's somebody who's never. But see, that's somebody
She won't
has a
ever do it
false
again.
sense of, you know, she
Yeah, but
doesn't
she'll never
understand.
do it again.
Right.
Guarantee it.
Hopefully,
but there are guys out there that are really they mouth off and stuff like that. It's like,
yeah.
bro, you don't know who you're.
See this one?
And
Jim?
this one I think is in Massachusetts, but this one is like the guy is like completely at fault. So he pulled this girl out of the car, and then someone just a bystander recorded this, and this is a tiny girl too. Look at this.
Oh no.
Almost exactly similar, days apart, different areas, but
No, you
road
can't
rage.
do that. You can't do
Of
that.
course not.
That guy's a piece of shit.
And that's her, but she's fine now.
Oh, she's
hopefully.
She looks like she listens to the same music as you said does.
What?
You could have killed her though.
Oh, I
Same
know.
what?
Music as
Same
me.
music.
Oh,
Yeah,
very-
maybe she does. She looks pretty cool.
Yes, awesome.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what she did to piss that dude off.
but I mean, if
That's
he's gonna
fucked
drag her
up.
out of the car, like, no, come on, it's a girl.
I don't think Sena's like that, because I think she was offended because that girl's not cute. I don't think she got the joke. I don't think she liked that. I don't think Sena's like that comparison. I think Brendan's getting very comfortable with her because you can tell they probably are fucking. That's why they have this kind of humor and this kind of, you know, banter. But I don't think Senaz liked that joke because Senaz probably thinks she's hotter than that girl. She didn't take that too well. I don't think she took that joke too well. She did not like that joke. She thinks she's cuter. Look at her face.
Oh, she's
Hopefully.
tiny. She looks like she listens to the same music as you said does.
What?
You could have killed her though.
Oh, I
Same
know.
what?
Music as
Same
me.
music.
Oh,
Yeah,
very-
maybe she does. She looks pretty cool.
Yes, awesome.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what she did to piss that dude off.
but I mean, if
That's
he's gonna
fucked
drag her
up.
out of the car, like, no, come on, it's a girl, dude.
Now,
The
she
other
would've
girl
got
was
that-
like-
and she's tiny, he's so big. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, you can restrain yourself from fucking this girl up.
But they caught that guy. He's
The-
getting screwed. So
really good.
this guy, yeah.
But the one you showed previous,
neither one.
it's different. And
Yeah.
she was bigger than him. But in this one where he just randomly pulls her out of the car and slams her, he's
that.
so much bigger. It's like, dude, show some restraint, bud.
Dude, give me a break.
I mean, that was a straight Kane style fucking takedown.
Both of them were like crazy body slams. Oh,
Well, well, this is my problem with bare knuckle. I don't like it.
is this bare knuckle?
I would assume.
I would assume.
Dude, this girl,
She's been
Michaela
taking
Lauren,
she's been taking a lot of shots on her forehead.
dude. But like, look at her face. Can you pull up a picture of what
Play
she
it,
looks like
Chin.
normally?
Let me see.
Yeah,
Play it.
hold on. Let's play it first.
Yeah, it was definitely much tougher than I expected. She's a great champion. Very
Severe swelling around that left eye.
Much tougher than I expected.
I got, unfortunately, too many headbutts.
Oh, that's a boxing match. That's not. Is that bare knuckle?
That looks like headbutts.
It's the WBF.
That does look like headbutts.
That looks like straight boxing, especially with their hand wraps on. Look at their hand wraps.
She's 48 years old.
Yeah, I think it's boxing.
She's 48. She kind of looks like me there too.
48.
She got
Too old-
fucked up.
too old
Might
to
have
fight.
headbutt.
Oh, look at her hair.
But that's how she looks. You know?
Wow.
Wow.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Fuck, man. That's
How long does it take that swelling to go down?
A week.
A full week to get her face back to just
easy,
being
man.
swollen and
Easy.
bruised.
I've seen my friend had this, and he was there for 10 days. It was really tough. And they couldn't drain it. Nothing. Can we get more pictures of her, please?
Yeah.
Because she's
48,
gorgeous.
man. She's a babe.
This is the podcast
there's a
now.
before
Very,
and after.
very
Hold on.
entertaining. Very entertaining. Why did Chin go to that first? By the way, why did Chin go to her before after picture first? Of all the pictures that are on her profile, why did he go to that one first?
Because she's
48,
gorgeous.
man. She's a babe.
She wanted to see that body, innit? She wanted to see that
There's
body.
a before and after.
Chin
Hold
wanted
on.
to see that body. She wanted to see that body.
Brendan?
Let's just take a look.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Brendan.
Okay, well.
Yep.
The funny thing is, she kind of looks like Brendan. That's the funny thing. She looks like she could be Brendan's sister. He's laughing at her and basically saying she's ugly, but she could definitely be Brendan's sister. She looks like she could be Brendan's sister. Like that face, she looks very. There's something Brendan about her. Like she's, you know. They look kind of alike. That's a funny thing about it.
What else you got, Chin? Are you happy, Brian? What else you got, Chin?
Oh, these are synopses. Let's go.
These are fine.
She's tough.
Biden.
Yeah. Here's one, guys. Hey, don't worry. President Biden's going to give $770 to each resident affected by the LA fires.
We can give Ukraine how much? And we just don't take care of U.S. citizens.
So there is something about aid to Ukraine that people should know. People have this misconception that we send money. Actually, the reason we send money,
Go on, tell
and
us, Brian.
politicians want to
Tell
send
us,
money to
tell us,
Ukraine.
tell us.
Oh, it's for our own interest.
Yeah, well,
tell
it's
us,
because
tell
our
us.
American companies actually. So we give the money to American companies, and then they produce the material
Thanks for
that
telling
Ukraine
us.
uses. So
Of
in a
course.
way, yeah, it's
Cool.
But
it's
hold
actually
on, you can't.
it keeps the economy going, here in a lot of constituencies.
But you can't cut a little bit off that and give it to American citizens.
It's not. I just think it's not a question of we could give more money. I'd have to look at what this is.
Look how
This is
fast we send money to Ukraine.
This podcast,
Yeah.
bro. Jesus Christ, bro.
Yeah, it's
Just
a
die
one-time
already,
payment.
man.
He says to help people get
God
things like
damn,
water
brutal.
and baby formula.
Yeah, so there's
Dude, that's one night hotel in
But
that area.
Bubba, what's going to happen here actually is there's a lot of talk of the federal government coming in and making
Okay.
everybody completely
No more-
whole.
no
so in
more
other
fire-
words, here's
no
the
more
problem,
fire
right? You want to
conversation,
build your
please.
house and
No more fight. I don't care about it. Let's skip ahead of this.
In other good news, Kid Rock and Carrie Underwood will be performing at Trump's inauguration.
wow.
Terrible.
I love me
yes.
some Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
I mean,
Rogan's
yeah,
going.
I
I
think
was
Kid
invited
Rock
to
was
this.
kind of the shocker here, right? But
No, Kid Rock.
I think Carrie was like the shocker.
no,
Kid Rock is super
Yeah.
pro-Trump.
But I get he's super pro-Trump, but it's like this is a presidential thing. You getting Aretha Franklin to do stuff, Beyonce. And
Nah,
now-
she's got a good point though. She's got a good point. You wouldn't really. Carrie Underwood probably makes more sense at inauguration than Kid Rock. She does make a good point here. To be fair.
now Kid Rock and his wife Beater are coming up.
I mean, Kid Rock, I figured, but Carrie Underwood, because most of them
That's
are
what's
scared to
shocking to me,
perform.
yeah,
Yeah, Carrie
Carrie.
Underwood's the big shocker.
And
So
got
she's
so
obviously
much
getting
shit.
blowback for it.
You know, like when Zachary Levi came out and supported Trump, the number of texts he got from actors who were like, never speak to me again, all friends, like, I'll never speak to you again, you're a scum, all this stuff. It's like, all right, guys. You guys are you're so open to other ideas. Oh.
Yeah, Kid Rock refers to Trump as.
I love how Callan is saying this when really and truly, if he was told he had to denounce Trump to get his acting career back, he'd do it in a heartbeat. He's saying all this shit now, but if he was told, hey, denounce Trump and you get your acting career back, he would do it in a fucking heartbeat.
really good friend, really close friend, and
Yeah, he's been supportive of him forever.
I think this will be awesome.
Carrie Underwood's wild, though. Wild meaning it's cool she's doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, she said, I love my country and I'll do anything for my country. I think she kept it very PC. You know.
That's dope of her to actually do it, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She'll probably lose a lot of fans. To be
She's going
honest.
to gain
Yeah.
so many.
And she'll gain
Yeah,
some.
of course.
She's gonna gain, especially in the country genre. I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
What
It's a
is
smart
harm about?
business move for her as well.
Not really, not long term though. It probably will do irreversible damage to her brand long term. But if she doesn't mind doing it, let her do it. But let's not act like there's no risk involved. You know what I mean? Like, let's not act like it's not risk involved. But also, I get it. For her point of her career, I get why she's doing it. You know what I mean?
Saw Moana 2 with my kid yesterday.
How was it?
Not my favorite.
Did you like Moana 1 though?
A
You
lot.
love Moana 1,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it's great.
Moana 2 is, they should have called it, hold on, because just hold on to that rope and you'll make it through. Like, there's no...
Moana has a baby in it?
No, it's just like, oh, look, the dragon's coming. It's going to try to pull us. Just hold on. Like, there was no smart way of getting out of it. The character didn't have to overcome their own shortcoming to slay the dragon. It was just
You
all
can do
like,
no wrong though. Moana 1's fantastic.
Sorry?
Moana 1's so good.
Great. But no, for me, Moana 2 is like that.
The Rock is in the second one too.
Okay.
Oh, he has to be, right? Yeah.
Both. You're welcome.
Moana conversations, really? Like, let's not do this, please.
This one kind of sucks.
Let's go forward, please. Too much. What's this? Let's go forward.
Go ahead, Shin. A Florida man has been arrested after allegedly engaging in sexual acts with a horse.
Yeah.
Anyone talk to the how's the horse feel about it?
Yeah, it's probably happened a lot. Was the horse putting his dong in his butt?
No. The horse is 28-year-old named Raven, and apparently he got caught because a woman saw what was happening and took a video, and it says
he was sucking the horse off.
He was by.
Okay. Let's skip this, man. Let's skip this. This is just too boring. Even Brent, look. Even he's tapped out of his own podcast. He's fucking bored of his own pod. He wants to go home so badly. So let's just skip that. Let's do a couple more videos here. Which one we got? Retroactive, the Joe Rogan armpit sniff. Let's play this one. Big up Retroactive. Big up Blood Clot Retroactive. Big up Retroactive. Let's go.
No, I tried the deodorant without the aluminum. No, I tried the deodorant without the aluminum, and it
Dr. Squatch
doesn't
is good.
work.
You can take a sniff of these bits.
Can I take a peek?
Can I smell it?
Yeah, you can smell. Come take a sniff.
Take a smell. Yeah, you want me to go on the other side?
Come take a sniff.
Jesus Christ.
smell good. Yeah, that's right. Get in there.
Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. What the fuck is going on? I didn't see this. God almighty. God almighty. What the fuck is going on here, man? These comedians and Rogan. What the fuck is this? This can't have been a real episode. No way. No way this is real.
Wow. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Dr. Squatch is legit.
Who would have thought they'd actually sniff Joseph's underarms? We're at a whole new level of sucking up to your superior for clout. We just had Joe's best friend Jelly Roll admit on Flagrant about all the weird parties within the industry, so it probably goes beyond armpits.
We hung out at the Grammys. We had both lost, and we ended up on what we call the loser tour that night. We went to all these like weird, crazy like Illuminati parties. It felt like it was so fucking weird, dude. And we went to like
Baby
3 or
oil
4 of them.
bashes.
Like it was no baby oil bashes.
Dude, I heard Jelly Roll's got that thing on him. I heard he's got a real.
I bet he does.
The comedians like to act like they're outside of the creep show, but the theories and rumors were always centered around extreme ass sniffing like it's a Winter Olympic sport. Just ask Diddy and all the rest. The fame game clearly comes with a bit of a price. Now seeing it perform for the public, and don't worry, the rest of the podcast is based in the same ass suckery, so it definitely raises questions, especially as most comedians are scared to upset Joe.
When comics start attacking comics that are doing better than them.
Yeah.
All criticism comes from a place of unmet needs.
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
We are back.
So everyone that criticizes the comedians wants to secretly be a comedian and be selling out tours and theaters and shit. They can't just be calling it out for being terrible comedy in their opinion. And just, that's it. It has to be a jealousy thing. Because you're so awesome, right? Everyone wants to be you. Okay.
Baby, I'm a baby. It's all about me. Everybody else.
I never realized until Podcast Cringe pointed it out. Big up Podcast Cringe. It was actually a good video. I never realized until he pointed it out how bad Rogan's impressions are, isn't it? They're pretty garbage, isn't it? Rogan's impressions. They're pretty fucking terrible.
Where these podcasts still pulling ridiculous numbers compared to what Chrissy D does, for example. Only the Shane or Marks of the world will lightly jab at Joe, Tony, but nobody wants to rock the boat like Norm Macdonald was, calling them out for joke theft or mocking the Death Squad name.
When I get angry, I just start to cry. So there's some wires crossed somewhere in me, but we've kind of accepted. That's why I think our friendship is we just have a little bit more estrogen than most guys, and that's okay.
We got nicked for sure. I mean,
we got nicked by the
some
gay
people
gene.
get fully clipped. I think we got
Joe
nicked.
didn't get it at all. Joe got not even close to being nicked. Which is rare for a comic because it's very usually hard to be funny and not a little bit of a feminine guy. You're a very manly guy that can be funny. Yeah. That's a rarity, babe.
Yeah.
Well, most guys.
Joe got not even close to being nicked, and which is
Full
rare
man.
for a comic because it's very usually hard to be funny and not a little bit of a feminine guy. You're a very manly guy that can be funny. Yeah. That's a rarity, babe.
Yeah.
And Joe wanted to be friends with me. I was just like, oh, he must be gay. Like, why would you want to be friends with another man? That didn't make sense to me. Really? Yeah, it was like...
At most, we'll get Chappelle mocking Andrew Schultz, while Joe tried to serve him up as, look, I found the next big thing.
Figured out a new way to do comedy.
Okay, but that's not, like you say, that's not stand-up.
No.
Like this thing that you're describing, God bless him.
Yeah.
That's not what I do.
We do have to remember with
big up Dave Chappelle.
Joe that for his stature, he really doesn't understand the internet. To think that Schultz becoming a YouTuber during the pandemic reinvented comedy is why Dave reacted that way, and it's the exact lick the ring mentality that has culminated in today's vomit-inducing spectacle. Back to Rogan's guest stars. This is the same Chris DiStefano who sold his family's perfect house.
Yo, what's all disease?
All criticism comes from a place of unmet needs. Yay, that's why we criticize you and your boys, Rogan. I needed to laugh and that need was not met. Shout out the Death Squad. Funny name.
I needed to laugh and that need was not met. It's such a brilliant line. It's such a brilliant line. I needed to laugh. And you didn't meet my needs, so now I'm criticizing you. Do better next time. Oh god, that's brilliant. Big up a disease, man. Death Squad.
To be closer to the bagel store for his comedy. If they had to downsize for financial reasons and that was his runaround, Rogan spent 20 minutes taking it extremely seriously, so...
Came home and said, we're putting up the house for sale. I want to be able to walk to a bagel store. We can't walk to a bagel store at this house on Staten Island. I need that for my creative process. And my girl was like, what are you doing? We just renovated our kitchen. You just poured money into this is our home. I was like, I can't walk to a bagel store and it's going to fuck my comedy up. It will.
What?
And she, yeah. And she, yeah.
Not much indication it's a bit. I choose to believe Chris DiStefano destroyed his family's perfect comfortable home to uproot them to a small apartment because the bagel store will help his anxiety jokes. 10 out of 10 if that's a real guy in the world. Good one, universe.
I don't think that's a bit, honestly. I don't think that's a bit. He's that crazy. He's that insane. He's that self-absorbed that is 100% true. I don't think it's a bit. I don't believe it's a bit. I believe it actually happened the way he said it happened. 100%. I believe he uprooted his family from their lovely house to live back in, the inner city of fucking New York because he wanted to live next to he wanted to have a bodega in walking distance. I'm pretty sure that is a real story. That's something real that happened and it's not a bit. I'm perfectly sure. Chrissy D's like that.
And Giannis Pappas, well, I almost forgot he was here. He always makes me think Bill Hader and Brendan Schaub had a child somehow.
And what if that happens?
Hilarious.
What if this happens? What if that happens? Ah! Okay, don't do that.
Yeah. It's tough when you have a comedian's brain because that's what we do. We spend a lot of time in our heads analyzing things, things.
Yes, a comedian's brain and only a comedian's brain. It's like Chris knows about Burn the Boats and the growing number of Rogan's fans that comment negatively about his comedy sets. So he's really lapping up and doubling down on the praising. The arse-suckery didn't end there though. Duncan and Joe got into the Xmas spirit and it was a lot more tolerable to listen to as they seemed to actually be friends, but Joe's Elon Musk is a god with 18 arms and 400 brains. Level of brown-nosing is beyond belief in almost every episode now.
That if it was in a movie, I'd go, shut the fuck up. He's not the #1 Diablo player. I don't care how smart he is with rockets and electric cars and satellites that give broadband internet. And he's tweeting 48 times an hour. He's so prolific.
Well,
it's like where?
Surely something has to give, though, innit? If you're an Elon Musk fanboy and you believe everything he says, surely at some point you have to sit there and think, it's impossible. I'm already struggling at the moment. I'm working out basic every day. I'm trying to read an hour a day. I'm trying to record mixes. I'm trying to stream every day, edit clips and upload them. Right? And I'm struggling. I can't imagine what it must be like to run those companies, plus contribute to those companies, plus be a high level Dungeons and Dragons fucking player or whatever he's meant to be. At some point you have to maybe look at it and think, you know what? Maybe Elon is lying. Maybe Elon is lying.
Where's your head?
One of the
it's like he's in another dimension.
The man tweets 24/7 and is the top Diablo 4 player in North America.
Hold on, what's that say? What's that say? Hold on, what's that say?
Tweets 20.
As of 2022, Elon has averaged 29.3 tweets a day after acquiring Twitter. Let's see how things have changed since then. Fucking hell. Musk is averaging 67.8 tweets per day. Before Twitter, he was averaging 12. So since he bought Twitter, he's actually tweeting way more. And he's got more on his plate with Starlink and SpaceX, the Boring Company, Tesla. Come on, man. Come on. Yo, big up Uche in the chat. Well gone, Uche. The irony is that Joe has become the thing he despises the most. Fake news. Yeah, man. Like, that bullshit radar thing is non-existent. That bullshit radar thing that he said he always had and used to pride himself on having, that bullshit radar is broken. It's in need of maintenance. It's in need of MOT. It's in need of some WD-40. It's in need of some, TLC, whatever it's in need of, it needs it, because clearly that shit isn't working. That bullshit radar isn't working because he's getting duped by shit, that even your dad wouldn't get duped by, That's how embarrassing it is. Even your fucking boomer dad would have some sense to like look at things a couple of times before sending it to you. Maybe double check, maybe maybe check to see other sources, find out if other people have confirmed that bit of news. But Joe's getting duped by everything from AI videos to fucking fake stories, from weird fucking Twitter accounts. Like, God almighty, man.
24/7 and is the top Diablo 4 player in North America, a notoriously difficult game. Clearly he delegates Starlink, SpaceX and Tesla to endless unknown engineers and workers just like Steve Jobs and other assholes before him. But yes, he does it all somehow, don't question it. Don't want to upset my pal Elon, of course. At least with a Duncan Epp or a few other guests, Rogan relaxes and the topics can be interesting. Or at least the tone's a ton more bearable than a Joe's Friends glazing Papa Joe fest for 3 hours. Like a Tony, Andrew, Akash, the thousands of comments.
Tony the type to say cha-cha-cha when singing happy birthdays to the homies. Tony the type of guy to open his chips with scissors. Tony the type of guy to grab a straw in his drink with his tongue. Tony eats Snickers upside down so you can feel the chocolate vein in his tongue. Tony's the type of guy to spray cologne in the air and shimmy through the mist. Fucking hell. How are the jokes in the comment section funnier than the fucking 250 Death Squad assassin comedians? How's that possible, hey? Random, faceless, anonymous people in the YouTube comments have better one-liners than all of Joe Rogan's friends. Isn't that hilarious?
Saying the same thing, hard to disagree. And right as I put out another Bert video, Two Bears has Ari Shafir on, and Bert has a massive meltdown indicating the exact entitlement to a career Joe gave him that's put him in this mess.
Is this why we don't do Sober October anymore?
Maybe.
Because I'm not good at accents?
No, I love
Yeah,
it.
that's what, yeah. Ari, as a member of both Sober October and Protect Your Parks.
Oh, yeah, you're the only one.
You're the only, we just think it's kind of ridiculous that we got replaced.
What Joe
here's
does
my-
that you don't have the capacity to do is not
listen.
make it all about himself.
Hold on. Fuck off. No, hold on. There's a clip. No, Hold on.
That's a
Fuck
clip of
you. Fuck you.
There's got to be a clip out there of you not interrupting.
No.
Fine. Look that up.
I'm not interrupting. I'm having a fucking conversation.
Leading to Protect Our Parks needing new life in the form of Norman and Gillis, and the kind of end of the Sober October crew. Tom, I Hate the Pause, Segura, is at least smart enough to know who cares.
Just so you know, I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's exactly the jobs for boys meant.
Isn't it funny though, isn't it, that Bert has killed Sober October? The most annoying person on the show, everyone routinely hated. The reason why they started Sober October was for Bert. But Bert is so annoying, they quit the show because of him. That's how you know you're fucking insufferable. You're exhausting. When the friends that made the show as a way to have you have an intervention because they thought you were drinking too much are like, you're so unbearable, we'd rather not do the show.
Mentality that's led Rogan to armpit and ring heaven.
How much of your life is lived to get Joe Rogan to say, "I'm finally proud of you"?
So good. Such a good answer. Such a good question.
It's a higher percentage than he wants to say.
But he moved their tongues away, as comedy fans were sick of endless Brendan Schaub and Bert Kreischer appearances. Mark, Shane and Ari don't inspire this same issue and can go with the flow together, leading Protect Our Parks to be arguably Joe's biggest show that his fans love.
Jesus, Mark Norman has slowly become my favorite comedian podcast guest. The guy is so quick on his feet and even funnier when nobody hears him. Shane telling Ari he could be the next Anthony Bourdain, and Mark instantly responds, "Exactly, you could kill yourself." LMAO. No one else heard him and no one laughed. Norman is the king of quick zingers. Norman's out-of-pocket comments are the truest form of pure comedy. He's unbelievably offensive to any and everyone, but the way he makes it hilarious every time is insane. He's just riffing from the dome. Shane's getting more comfortable talking direct shots at Joe to his face. It's amazing, and goddammit, I'm here for it. Yes, everyone loves Save Our Parks, man. You don't ever get that kind of comment section for a Sober October. Never, ever, 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 ever.
Where Ari and Joe are probably real friends, we come to find out Joe is a massive fanboy.
Actually, I missed that. I missed that joke there. Look at that joke that someone wrote there. It's allegedly a Mark Norman one. Who's the most underrated fighter, Ari? Mark. Chris Brown.
Protect Our Parks to be arguably Joe's biggest show that his fans love. Where Ari and Joe are probably real friends, we come to find out Joe is a massive fanboy of Shane and the energy isn't fully reciprocating.
Oh, it's Shane runs it.
Yeah.
Really?
It's Shane's show.
Really?
This is my impression of Joe Rogan when Shane's in the room.
Do your impression of Joe Rogan when I'm in the room.
I'll do it as Churchill. I'll do Joe Rogan as Churchill.
Yeah.
He fans out on it.
Yeah, he fans out hard. We all do a little bit.
For real?
But, yeah, he loves him.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Look at that, for real. He does not like that, did he? He did not like that.
Yeah, he fans out hard. We all do a little bit.
For real?
But, yeah, he loves him.
Look at his face. Look at the jealousy. Look at him being jealous of a Rogan's love. So adorable, so fucking GAY. I love it.
But
does the Death Squad all sling dick together?
Definitely. I was there. I seen it, dude. They all.
Something about thinking about Rogi's chick is probably
little pit bull,
wild,
He's
dude.
built like Jackson.
He's built like my dog.
He
He's a
looks
Staffordshire.
exactly like Jackson. Dude.
That's a 2019 episode where Shane's clearly a fan of the fighter and the kid community that covers Brendan Schaub, Rogan. Of course, without Joe, we would have never gotten the 2 best specials of all time, so do be thankful.
I was looking at Reddit. I was looking at the fighter and the kids Reddit.
Dude.
Fucking hilarious.
Clearly Shane had no idea he'd be huge and friends with Joe not long after this, but wow. At the time, they couldn't believe a town's worth of people discussed Schaub. Now it's on the way to 200,000 people, let alone counting every other platform. He isn't alone though, the internet is full of bizarro characters that people attempt to understand. Where again, Shane, Mark, Tim, Theo, Duncan, many comedians, podcasters, public figures toe the line without coming down with Bert or Brendan syndrome. It's really a self-doing. Funnily enough, Ari survives both groups and was one of Joe's first guests in 2010, despite cheap edgy humor of making fun of people when they pass. It's obviously going to piss people off.
Oh, by the way, is he still doing that? I don't follow Ari on social media. Does he still do that as a joke? Is that still his thing? Remember, whenever a famous person would pass away, he would like make some edgy joke about them on his social media. Does he still do that, or has he stopped doing that?
Does he come up with it? Yet still Joe's audience treats him like a god compared to Bert, so it really shows the effect Bert has. Whereas I pointed out last video, Brian Callen or Chris D'Elia fans ignore the allegations and praise them endlessly as comedic geniuses. Nobody can write jokes like my favorite allegation man and or squad, and thank you for
big up Josie, appreciate you. Yeah, Ari still does it. Okay, cool. So I guess it just doesn't go as viral as it used to do in the past. And fair play.
Watching.
And then I'll go, I'm so sorry, I wasn't listening. Will you say that one more time?
You should just be
okay,
listening.
I'll just be like, I was listening.
I'm sorry, I wasn't. He thinks, I still love that he thinks that's good podcasting. Sorry, I wasn't listening. Can you say that one more time? He's such a fucking fool, honestly. He's such a fucking fool. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. Can you say that one more time, you know? Oh, so fucking dumb. Okay, I think that might be it for now. Let me quickly check the Fire and the Kid sub. And then we'll probably come back again for it tomorrow because it's what, 5:30 now. What we saying? Quinn and the intern considering moving to TX. I think we said that already, didn't we? Right? We saw that already, didn't we? No. Sainaz and Chin are saying they might move to Texas with these guys, right? I think we saw this yesterday. I think so.
I gotta start training. I'm gonna go to Thailand because I have a lot of time.
And
Okay.
Get wet, dude.
Huh?
And just get juicy out there.
Get juicy.
Have you been to Thailand, Chin?
No, I definitely want to go though.
You want to go?
Yeah,
You'd
for
like it.
sure.
I love Chin when we were like, hey, we want to go to Austin. He's like, I'm in. I'm like, "Well, okay, well, there it is.
The first time, right? And I had like a serious relationship with the person that I was friends with for 20 years. And I was
Yeah, the
like, I
girl.
still was like, I'll make it work.
It's good.
Chin's the gangster.
Chin's
Yeah.
gangster.
Okay, so I am, from what I can understand, it does seem like Chin's trying to say that he broke up with Jobo because he was. Oh, I don't know if that makes sense. Or maybe he's saying that at the time he told Jobo he was going to move and she was not happy, but he was willing to put his relationship on the line for the show. Which is a crazy level of redactedness, to be fair. Putting your relationship on the line for Brendan and Brian Callen is fucking crazy.
So
Chin's my boy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no.
Oh, I like that.
Microphone.
Sanaz.
Okay, Brian, that was a bit creepy. I'm not saying no. Oh, I like that.
It's good.
Chin's the gangster.
Chin's
Yeah.
gangster.
Sanaz?
Chin's my boy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no.
Oh, I like Chin's
Yeah.
gangster.
Sanaz?
Chin's my boy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I bet you do like that. I bet you do like that. Slow Joe and Trainer and Papa. I think we've seen this one already, did we?
I do what
I think we saw this one.
I want. I do what I want. I
I
let
love it.
myself go. Wife doesn't give
No
a shit.
discipline.
None.
You think she doesn't give a shit.
Right.
And then she has this hot assistant.
Well,
You're
or a
what's going on here?
trainer.
Yeah, trainer.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and then
9, 8, little
Oh, yeah,
lower.
the black guy.
Yep. 7, good. 6, 7, good. 6, don't just go through the motion, squeeze the glutes. 5, 4. Get out the way, get out the way, get out.
Oh, you gotta love Slow Joe. You gotta love fucking Slow Joe. Who's she doing it all for, mate? What's this about? What's this? Is this from Joke World, right? Joke World. $15. Assemble your dream Mothership lineup. I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather. I don't know. I think this is an awful list of people, isn't it? $5. Who have you got here? Crystalia, Bert. No, this is some horrible options. I don't want anyone from this list. I'm not watching a single show from anyone on this list. Zero. I don't know any. I want anyone. I'd rather not. I'd rather keep the money and get myself a burrito or something. Like or beer, you know, or maybe a couple of rounds. Maybe could I get 2 pints for $15? I think so. But I'm not paying anything for anyone here. I'm not gonna lie. Even Uncle Joey, I'm a fan of. I don't think I'd watch you stand up personally. Maybe if I went to America, that'd be one thing. But for a dream lineup, I don't know. Yeah, no one's here is any good. It's fucking terrible. LOL at Luis J Gomez being $1 though. He definitely belongs down there. He's Luis J. Gomez stand-up makes Brendan look like a professional. If Luis J. Gomez can be a stand-up comedian, so can Brendan Shaw. Like, he is so bad. He's terrible at stand-up. Fucking awful. Oh, by the way, look at the joke. The joke explainer is number one. Is not $1 too. That's, I think that's out of order. He deserves to be at least a $2 comedian. He shouldn't be that low. The joke explainer. Is that the guy that said the N-word, right, from Seinfeld? He probably shouldn't be there at all. To be fair, he's not really that funny. Is that meant to be Joe Coy? I think. There's Tony Robbins here. This guy that is the ventriloquist person. I don't know. Brendan's there for $4, which is fucking crazy. Callan's above him for $5. Oh, who made this? Okay, it wasn't Joke World. It was the Bachelor. Okay, cool. I thought it was Joke World that made this because the color scheme. Do you think he did it on purpose? Look at him, cheeky guy. Do you think he made this color on purpose to make you think it was Joke World, but it's actually the Bachelor of Music? That's fucking hilarious. Big up the guy. He's the one that does the reactions to all the comedy specials. I don't know who I'd get. I don't want anyone from here. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want anyone. They're all so bad. Yeah. Let me have the money and let me get some pints, mate. Oh, thank you very much. What's this about? Talk about acting. 40-year-old TikTok star arc in 3, 2, 1. Let's go for the music. Okay, some Mexican dude that looks like doing some gymnastics on some bars in the park. To be fair, the funny thing about this video is that I have a feeling most likely this is something that Rain Energy Drink got him to do. They probably got a pretty decent social media team over there, and they probably get their athletes or their brand ambassadors to do this type of things. They just send them the script and tell them to react, and then they post it on, send the video to post on their account. I don't think this is an idea Brendan came up with for content. No way. I think it's Rain sending him the content idea. He executes it, and then he gets to put it up on his profile, and they get to obviously get the most out of their money for sponsoring him in the first place. I think that's the case. Because I can't imagine him coming up with this idea himself and getting with it. But it also goes to show how much he must be in need of sponsors, because I think in the past he would have definitely ignored the requests to do this sort of stuff. He would have thought it was asking for too much and just ignored it and let the sponsor kind of, ditch him if they wanted to. But nowadays, you probably can't afford to let go of a sponsor like Rain. It's probably, you'd imagine it's probably maybe one of his biggest sponsors in terms of his monthly nut, as he likes to say. So you just listen to what they say. If they want you to jump, you jump and you do what you need to do. But this is, this trend of this kind of reactions, it feels like it's kind of played out already as well. So it's always funny because you feel like it's always late, It's always a little bit too late with these little TikTok, Instagram, social media viral things he tries to do. It always feels a little bit too late. Little bit too late. But hey, at least he's doing something. Brian so quick to put Joe's penis in his mouth. What's this one about?
Yeah, I want 4 of them.
Yeah, they don't fuck around.
I'm gonna buy a ranch.
Are you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Been talking about it for a while.
You
I'm
live
just
on it?
waiting for the maybe. But at the very least, we're gonna put the podcast on the ranch.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
'Cause I want to have
Big
a
ranch.
ranch.
I also
I don't know, man. It's like, I get it, it's Rogan, but he's also your friend, isn't it? Just be normal, man. Like, isn't that possible? I understand he's a rich guy, he's successful. I get it, but he's also your friend. You know him as like a human, as like a person who shits and spits and shit. Why don't you just like treat him normally and just act normal? I don't know. Maybe it's harder said than done. Who knows? Maybe it's harder said than done. Brendan returned to stand-up comedy. Really? Really?
All right, kids, we love you.
Maybe we'll bring Brendan back into the stand-up game on the 22nd.
Oh, wait.
Really? I want to know what's happening on the 22nd. Maybe first. That's an interesting development. Let's say that one more time.
All right, kids, we love you.
Maybe we'll bring Brendan back into the stand-up game on the 22nd.
Oh, wait.
I wonder what's going to happen there then. To be fair, even though he's terrible at stand-up, considering everyone else that makes a living doing stand-up is also terrible, he should give it a go. He should have never probably quit, but his ego probably couldn't handle not selling tickets. His ego couldn't handle starting from scratch, going out to the mothership. But if he is going to decide to move out to Texas, it'll be kind of weird if he doesn't try and do stand-up one more time. Just give it another go. But probably try and hire some writers, you'd imagine. Maybe try and listen to your fucking set to tighten it up a bit. That might be also beneficial. And go slow. But I would love to see that. I'd love to see him come back into stand-up because we're going to get some great material when he starts to upload clips of himself telling jokes on stage and they're terrible. When he eventually films another special. I'm here for that. I am here for him trying to be a stand-up comedian one more time and falling on his face again. You know? That's what I'd love to see. I'd love to see that. So I'm all for it. I'm encouraging it. And yeah, I can't wait to see how it plays out. I can't wait to see how this plays out. I really, really can't. Anyways, my friends, I'm going to love you and leave you there, my friends. It's free. It's late here. We'll be back again tomorrow. But thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure, never a chore, as per usual. We'll probably do a Taz tomorrow and then a random show, maybe. But I'll see how it figures out. But we'll probably do one like that tomorrow. And then I might do a fight along. I might do a watch along for the fights as well. I may do, depending on how my evening goes. I may do a fight, but I'm definitely gonna do a random show before that anyway. So keep on check in and shit. I'll be here. So keep an eye out. But I'll definitely be here. I'll definitely be here for the random show before. But I'm not sure about the watch along for the UFC. So keep an eye out. But I'll definitely do a random show before that, and obviously a Taz. So thank you for tuning in, people. Appreciate you so much. Make sure you like the stream down below if you can. Please like the stream before you leave. Like the stream before you leave. And yeah, man, subscribe to the channel, please. That'll also be beneficial. I'm trying to get this channel up to 1,000 subscribers so I can monetize it and shit. So please make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Join the Discord, link is down below also. Good little community there, people. Sharing shit, recommend me videos to watch if you want as well down below. And yeah, man, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys again tomorrow or later on today. Peace. Okay. Peace.